The east side of Oklahoma City ends with a young man shot multiple times. I'm Colby Thielen. While we've now learned from police that a 17-year-old is facing a murder charge, it's ahead. Plus, questions swirling in Harmon County after top law enforcement officials step down. What commissioners revealed during a public meeting?
And strong winds are back for our Tuesday. Fire danger ramps back up. I'm meteorologist Megan Gold with your Tuesday forecast coming up.
Live from downtown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma's own News 9 starts now.
Good Tuesday morning. Glad you're with us. Glad to have Megan back here with us. And we're talking fire danger again. So
right.
dry, and then the winds crank up later this morning.
Right. And really, this will be more of a 9 a.m. to about lunchtime deal for the metro, and then it'll shift a little farther to the east as the winds will actually be strongest from Oklahoma City off into eastern Oklahoma. So western Oklahoma gets a little bit of a break today, which will be nice. Yeah. And then we are eyeing rain chances as we go to next week. So it looks like March starts a little more on the wet side, and boy, we will take it. There's the live look from our Chickasha camera. As promised, you're waking up this morning. Winds are already breezy to gusty, and temperatures are running much warmer than they were this time yesterday because of those gusty south winds. 44% humidity. The air is pretty dry, and that again combined with those gusty winds will set us up for fire danger today. So temperatures across the metro right now, upper 30s and low 40s, and winds here in the metro at about 20 miles per hour in Oklahoma City. Down to about 18 miles per hour in Apache and 28 in Watonga. Statewide temperatures, again, much warmer than this time yesterday. We had teens and 20s yesterday morning, and we're in the 30s and 40s. And that's all thanks to that gusty south wind. We've already had gusts near 40 miles per hour up in the north and west. And again, that will only increase as we go through the morning here. So by 9 o'clock through about lunchtime, here's our fire zone for today. Low humidity, winds gusting to 45 miles per hour, and then into the afternoon when the strongest winds shift eastward, that's where the highest fire danger threat will be as well. So coming up, we'll talk about the rain chances when they return. Boy, do we need them. Also warm temperatures and then another cool down. You're 9 days, minutes away. Colby, back over to you.
All right, Megan, thank you. Murder charges are filed against a 17-year-old suspect after a planned robbery turns deadly. Oklahoma City police say Tyree Hawley has been charged with the murder of 19-year-old Emmett Gresham. Gresham was getting a haircut at an apartment complex near Northeast 4th and Lottie last month when police say two people barged in and robbed him. During the struggle, Gresham was shot multiple times. He died from those injuries. Investigators say Hawley was the getaway driver. Another suspect, 20-year-old Latavian Bowler, was arrested on Friday on a first-degree murder complaint. At least one more suspect is still on the run. Two more illegal grow operations have been shut down by the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics. Investigators served warrants at two different locations Friday in Ottawa County. Both, they say, were fraudulently registered. OBN also says nearly 42,000 plants and 700 pounds of processed marijuana were seized. 3 people were also taken into ICE custody. An investigation is underway after a demolition derby car drove into a crowd of people at a car show. Cell phone video showed it all unfold in Tulsa Saturday night. That video cuts to black, but you can still hear people talking in the background. Georgia Stevens shot that video before she was hit and injured by the car.
All I remember is I was laying on my left side and the tire was like right here on me, and I could see the whole underside of the car, and the fence got lifted up and stood up, and I was dripping blood.
So we don't have an exact number of people at this point that were injured. We do know that none of those injuries were life-threatening. An Oklahoma sheriff and some deputies announced their resignations. We have now confirmation from the OSBI that it is investigating, and the Oklahoma Highway Patrol is now stepping in to help with calls. Commissioners in Harmon County, that's in far southwestern Oklahoma, held a meeting yesterday announcing a criminal investigation. News 9's Elizabeth Fitz has the latest from the courthouse where that meeting happened.
We spent the afternoon trying to gather information about these resignations and came back with several pieces of information. What we know in part is based off of a Facebook post from the Harmon County Sheriff's Office saying Sheriff Steve Cornett, Deputy Renner, an administrator, and a detention deputy all resigned on Sunday due to what the department called unforeseen circumstances. The Sheriff's Office Facebook page has since been deleted, and in the commissioner's meeting Monday morning, a criminal investigation by the OSBI into the Sheriff's Office was announced. We asked the OSBI what this was about, and a spokesperson says it is related to allegations under the Oklahoma Computer Crimes Act, adding that investigators currently have no suspects. The DA's office tells News 9 that it is aware of the resignations, but the office will not make any further comments. I spoke with a concerned citizen who attended the commissioner's meeting. He says the people of Hollis deserve to know what's going on.
I really believe that we deserve an explanation of why so many people at the sheriff's office resigned.
We also spoke with the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, which says it will step in when it comes to calls for service, and it will answer that call as long as needed. In Hollis, Elizabeth Fitz, Oklahoma's Own News 9.
And those resignations come only about a year after Sheriff Steve Cornett was elected to that position. He was sworn in back in January of 2025.
I couldn't move another muscle. All I could do is just curl up in a ball and pray to the good Lord.
A harrowing story of survival for 3 volunteer firefighters badly hurt while responding to last week's wildfires. Chris Campbell was driving through heavy smoke with Jake Edwards and Randy Masters when their truck rolled into a canyon and caught fire. This was near Beaver County. Campbell was severely burned. Masters suffered burns and injuries to his foot. Edwards suffered a head injury.
Next thing that I knew to do was just to start crawling. Just start crawling to the highest point. I couldn't ask for better guys to be on a fire with.
And Chris remains in the hospital this morning. He's hopeful he'll be released this week. The department relies on donations and needs a new truck. If you'd like to help, we've posted a link over at news9.com. Governor Kevin Stitt will join other state leaders today, he says, to outline a coordinated statewide plan for wildfire preparedness. We're told that goal is to strengthen the state's readiness for an increased fire risk. We'll have a crew there looking for that announcement, and you can look for the updates here and at news9.com. It is day 10 of the partial government shutdown, and right now there's no end in sight. Democrats continue to ask for changes to the Department of Homeland Security, which the Trump administration says isn't going to happen. Our Washington Bureau Chief Alex Cameron has the latest from D.C.
Well, one day before President Trump comes here to deliver his State of the Union address, Democrats remain dug in on their demands that ICE agents be reined in before they'll be willing to support DHS appropriations for the remainder of the fiscal year, which is very frustrating for the House's lead appropriator.
I think it's been incredibly irresponsible and very unfair to the federal employees.
House Appropriations Chair Tom Cole says it's especially unfair to Coast Guard, FEMA, and TSA agents who aren't even part of the dispute. But then that's what Democratic leaders are also saying.
Republicans have decided that they would rather shut down FEMA, shut down TSA, and shut down the Coast Guard than get ICE under control.
Getting ICE under control, Democrats say, must include things like requiring federal agents get judicial warrants before entering private property and not wearing masks during operations. Last week, the administration said those were non-starters.
They sent over a counter-proposal that, frankly, was very unserious, and we hope they get serious very soon because Americans are going to be impacted by this.
What's perhaps most frustrating to Congressman Cole is that this is a battle primarily over policy, he says, being waged in a funding bill.
You either change policies or you don't, and they belong in other committees, authorizing committees, not in the day-to-day funding committee for Homeland Security.
So all eyes will now be on the president and his address tomorrow night. Surely he will mention this, but will it be in a way that provides an opening for negotiations to move forward or that shuts them down? I'll be here watching. In our Washington Bureau, I'm Oklahoma's own Alex Cameron.
And let's take a live look at the nation's capital tonight. President Trump, as you heard Alex mention, is putting those finishing touches on the State of the Union address, and he'll deliver it tonight on Capitol Hill. Alex Cameron will have a live report at 10 p.m. with reaction from our congressional delegation. Let's turn now to the Bob Mills Weather Center. Megan Gold standing by with a look at your Tuesday and Megan, just have to be fire aware today as well.
Right, another day where our winds will be strong, low humidity, and of course a lot of that fuel to burn from all the rain that we had over the summer. Let's take a live look out the door right now. This is our Chickasha camera, part of our Lucky Stars Skycam network. Already breezy to gusty winds as you wake up here on your Tuesday morning. A little cloud cover overhead. 43 is our temperature right now, feeling like 35 with that winds. And starting at 9 o'clock this morning, fire threat ramps up and then it shifts to the east into the afternoon and evening. I've got the latest on our winds, also highs for today coming up.
Also coming up, state lawmakers begin building the framework for a new agency centered on child welfare. The plan moving forward at the state capitol and what still needs to happen. It's ahead. Boy, really a nation divided right now. We've been so dry and it's been windy. But on the Northeast, man, they got pummeled. That's like so much
no
snow.
kidding, 20 to 30 inches of snow.
That is
Yeah,
insane.
several feet of snow. And
Wow.
on top of that, they had big time winds. So you're talking trees coming down, power lines coming down, hundreds of thousands without power, and it's very, very cold.
So this is like hurricane level winds, but just with snow instead.
Essentially, I mean,
That's
it
crazy.
is definitely one for the record books. There are
blizzard.
many spots that picked up record amounts of snowfall, 20 to 30 inches, and that's enough to keep you buried for several
while.
days.
Yeah.
The good news, temperatures will climb above freezing. Here's some video just to show you of those blizzard-like conditions. And from Rhode Island down to New York City, travel was essentially just discouraged with the conditions at hand there. And I tell you what, at this point, we would take moisture in any form that we can get it. The good news, it does look like as we go into March, we start to make things a little more active with a storm system coming in from the west, several waves of rain and thunderstorms. So let me take you back on radar and just show you this big nor'easter, the northeast winds wrapping around that area of low pressure, and look at those snow bands and how little they move when they go through a course of about 24 hours. And unfortunately, the Northeast does have several more storms headed their way to bring in more snow. The good news is that it will be nowhere near what it has been. They'll pick up maybe another inch or two, not talking another foot or two. But when you look along the coast of the north and east from Philly all the way up through New York City, Times Square down to really areas from Providence, Rhode Island, one of the spots that picked up about 3 feet of snow. So super impactful storm system there. It's been very quiet here at home, but we do have another storm off to our west, high pressure here off to our east. And between the two of those, we're going to crank out more wind today, which will ramp up our fire threat once again. So burn bands continue to grow. We have added Rogers County this morning to the burn bands, and still no burn bands up into the north and west, where there probably should be some burn bands on the southern sides of the Oklahoma City metro and then down into southern Oklahoma. And I think these will just continue to grow as our drought conditions continue to worsen. Here's the live look from our Lucky Stars Skycam network. 43 is our temperature right now, and it feels like 35, 44% humidity. And today is another day to just be dialed in to the fire danger threat. Our winds are actually strongest this morning here in Oklahoma City. So that's why that high zone includes western Oklahoma into the metro and off to the east. Humidity down to about 10 to 20%. And then into the afternoon, the strongest of the winds will actually shift off to the east. So that's why that zone shifts to the east as well. Still under a moderate fire danger here in Oklahoma City. So let me walk you through future winds. This morning when the sun comes up, we start to mix some of those stronger winds up aloft down to the surface. This may be a little overdone, but gusts to 40, maybe a gust or two to 45. And then into the afternoon, notice what happens. Western Oklahoma, you have a breezy day, not a windy day by any means. Strongest winds off to our east. And again, that will shift that fire threat farther east as well. So storm trackers will be out. They'll be ready to go. The winds on top of the low humidity, you know the drill there. Those two really setting us up for that fire danger. Temperatures across the metro right now significantly warmer than what we had this time yesterday. 30s and 40s. We were in the teens and 20s yesterday, and that is what a gusty south wind will do for you. So we've had a few gusts to 30 and 35 up in the north and west, and winds will only crank up more as we head towards sunrise and into about the 9 and 10 o'clock hour. Highs today back to the 70s, very warm down in the southwest, a warm and a windy day. And again, the strongest winds from kind of the west sides of the metro off into eastern Oklahoma with a few gusts to 40 and 45. Overnight tonight, the clouds really start to thicken up. Temperatures in the 30s and 40s with breezy winds. And tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies and still very warm, low to mid to upper 70s. And tomorrow night into your Thursday morning, a chance for a shower or two, highest chances across the north and east. And then it is all about this storm that comes in from the west as we head into the first several days of March. It's looking like we have several waves of rain and thunderstorms. Still how much moisture in question, but that could be a good deal for our drought. Here's the latest on your 9-day forecast. 72 degrees today. You'll notice the cloud cover along with your Wednesday. Thursday, a slight chance for a shower. Friday, back to sunshine. 79 on Saturday. Our next cold front hits. We cool it off and rain and thunderstorm chances return. Colby, over to you.
All right, Megan, thank you. State lawmakers are working to create a new state agency that's sole focus would be child well-being. Lawmakers took the first step in setting that framework for the idea yesterday, but say there's a lot of work to be done to finalize things. Our Capitol reporter Haley Hetrick has the details.
Children in the state of Oklahoma, we have to do a better job of protecting them.
Protecting Oklahoma's most vulnerable.
One of the things that this bill is trying to do is make us be laser focused on kids. That's what this is about, right?
That's the idea behind Senator Paul Rosino's new push to create the Department of Child Safety and Well-Being.
What we did today was basically the new law, just setting up the framework.
The new department would merge Juvenile Affairs, or OJA, with Child Welfare, which is currently under DHS's purview.
DHS is just so large. It's not their fault. We created it. It's so what we're doing now is going to separate the kids piece out so they can focus holistically on children.
Senator Rosino says both DHS and OJA directors are on board with the change.
But we also know that there's a lot of work to be done because it's a major lift.
This department would be governed by a board with appointees from the governor, Senate Pro Tem, and House Speaker. At least one of the appointees from each body has to have some kind of child welfare experience.
That was very important to me to make sure that we have people that understood it and not just lay people.
Now getting to work over the next few months to get the details of the department sorted out.
I think this will probably drag all the way through session before it really comes to the floor in any kind of version.
While the legislation is a work in progress, the focus remains clear.
I don't want children's safety and well-being to be second or third or fourth. I want it to be one of the #1 priorities.
If this is signed into law, it would not go into effect until July of 2027, giving plenty of time to set up the new department. At the Capitol for Oklahoma's Own, I'm Haley Hetrick.
And the legislation passed unanimously out of Senate committee. It now heads to the House. DHS said in a statement, quote, "We applaud Chairman Rosino's passion and support for our work to make Oklahoma the safest state for children." Coming up, a Major League Baseball pitcher steps in to help Oklahoma firefighters. How one text message led to a huge donation. It's coming up. All right, you got to see this. A Major League Baseball player steps up to help Oklahoma firefighters. This is pitcher Walker Buehler, and his foundation donated pallets of bottled water and Gatorade to the Elgin Fire Department.
I love that so much. It came after a local resident texted Buehler, who immediately responded. The chief says the donation was so large they plan on sharing with other departments.
Wow, that's a huge... I mean, just think about this. I don't know how he got the number, okay? Maybe he knows him through a family friend of a friend or something. I don't know, but just to think, because he's not from here. He's from, I think, like Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah.
He plays for the Padres. So I don't know how you text him, but hey, just go for it, right? You never know unless you ask.
You never know unless you ask, and I love that. And the fact that they have enough to share with other departments, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly have been needing it out west, fighting those fires.
Right.
And it's been so taxing on those firefighters, and to have those supplies in a donation like that, I'm sure it means a lot.
It means a ton. And we have so many volunteer firefighters too
Yeah.
that work day jobs and then they come in. And so, yeah, a big hats off to all of our firefighters. And unfortunately today, another day to keep an eye on things, as we do have high fire danger back again. The strongest of our winds here in Oklahoma City will actually be this morning. So you'll notice by 8 to 9 o'clock, winds ramping up. We could have gusts 35 to 40, 45 miles per hour. And then winds will start to relax just a little bit here in Oklahoma City. Out west, you're looking really good today. Winds will be much, much lighter for you all. This is mainly kind of a Clinton to eastern Oklahoma type of deal. And unfortunately, until we get some good rain, this will be the story. Here's the live look from our Chickasha cam this morning. Little cloud cover overhead, but clear skies there in Chickasha. 43 is our temperature. Yesterday, we were in the 20s, so a big time warm up from that south wind this morning, but the wind still has a bite to it. So gusts 35 to about 35 miles per hour up in the northwest right now. And again, winds will only increase as we head towards sunrise. A very warm day headed our way. Western Oklahoma, low to mid to upper 70s. A few spots in the 80s down in the southwest.
Man, I wish the sky would donate some water. We need
Wouldn't
it
that be kind of it?
We need it so badly. All right, Robin and Lacey are going to join us right after this. What's up, George? We'll be back.
I'm Robin Marsh. Good morning. A Metro man is killed while getting a haircut. Police say it was a robbery. I'm Robin Marsh, and now a 17-year-old suspect has been arrested. The charges coming up.
A family from Oklahoma is caught in the middle of violent unrest in Mexico following the death of a top cartel leader. I'm Lacey Lowry. Coming up, how their travel plans have shifted.
And low humidity and strong winds are creating dangerous conditions today for possible wildfires. I'm Colby Thielen. What areas are most at risk and how long that fire threat remains? It's coming up.
Live from downtown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma's own News 9 starts now.
Good Tuesday morning. Glad you're waking up with us here at 4:30. Another day and more fire danger.
Yeah, it's warming up out there.
Yeah.
We're going to have to be very careful if you are out in the elements today.
There you go. Is this a repeat of last week? Is it going to be as bad? Let's check in with Megan Gold in the Bob Mills Weather Center. Hey, Megan.
Hey, guys. Good morning. The fire threat will not be as extreme as it was 1 week ago today, but it will still be high, especially this morning as our winds crank up. We'll have gusts to 40, maybe even 45 miles per hour here in Oklahoma City. That combined with that low relative humidity and warm temperatures, enough to give us that high fire danger. Storm trackers will be out ready to go if we see these fires get going. 43 is our temperature right now, much warmer than what we had this time yesterday thanks to a gusty south wind, but that does make it feel like 35 degrees. Across the metro, 38 in Weatherford, 43 in Watonga, 42 in Norman and Shawnee. You're sitting at 42 this morning. Winds are already breezy to gusty at about 15 to 25 here in the metro. Statewide, again, more of the same. Upper 30s, low to mid to upper 40s up in the northwest where winds are even stronger. We've already had a few gusts to 35 and 40 in the northwest. And as we head towards sunrise, 8, 9, 10 o'clock this morning, winds crank up. And again, that will bring us that high fire danger threat. We'll talk more about it. Who sees it? When does it diminish? And also, when does our next chance for rain arrive? Your 9-day forecast is coming up.
Our headlines right now. News 9 has learned murder charges are filed against a 17-year-old Metro man. Police say it was a robbery that turned deadly. Oklahoma City police say Tyree Hawley has been charged with the murder of 19-year-old Emmett Gresham. Gresham was getting a haircut at an apartment complex near Northeast 4th and Lottie last month when two people, police say, barged in and robbed the man. During the struggle, Gresham was shot multiple times. He died from his injuries. They say Hawley was the getaway driver. Meanwhile, another suspect, 20-year-old Latavian Bowler, was arrested Friday on a first-degree murder complaint. At least one more suspect is still on the run. 2 more illegal grow operations have been shut down by the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics. Investigators served warrants at 2 different locations Friday in Ottawa County. Both were registered by fraud. OBN says nearly 42,000 plants and 700 pounds of processed marijuana have been seized. 3 people were taken into ICE custody.
New information this morning on a cyber breach of the Cheyenne and Arapaho tribes. The tribe's governor says that breach happened last December, putting personal information of members and employees at risk. They tell us the systems were immediately shut down out of caution. And at this time, there is no evidence the hackers gained access to any confidential information. The tribes are coordinating with cybersecurity experts to add safeguards to their systems.
An investigation is underway after this demolition derby car drove into a crowd in Tulsa over the weekend. Wild video, cell phone video showing the car going into the crowd of people. This was Saturday night. It cut to black, but you can still hear people talking in the background. Well, Georgia Stevens shot the video before she was hit and injured by that car.
All I remember is I was laying on my left side and the tire was like right here on me and I could see the whole underside of the car and the fence got lifted up and stood up and I was dripping blood.
Georgia says about 4 or 5 people were injured. We're still trying to get that confirmation from authorities, but we know no one's injuries were life-threatening when that car went into the crowd.
All I could do is just curl up in a ball and pray to the good Lord that he'd get me out of there.
To talk about a fight to survive, we're hearing from one of those 3 Roston volunteer firefighters who survived a terrifying crash while battling wildfires.
So many people have been praying for these 3 men. Their truck went off the canyon last week. right in Beaver County while they were trying to escape fire and smoke. News 9's Deanne Stein has their story.
I couldn't ask for better guys to build a fire with.
Chris Campbell gets emotional when talking about last Tuesday's crash with Jake Edwards and Randy Masters.
We're a lot closer now.
The 3 Ralston volunteer firefighters were battling the wildfires in Beaver and Harper counties just before it happened.
We turned to get on that fire line, and it was almost immediate. You could see fire and then nothing but smoke.
Chris said he hit the brakes, throwing the fire truck into reverse and right over a canyon.
It felt like we had rolled 2 or 3 times.
Trying to escape the cab, Chris remembers the flames coming in as he tried to kick out the windshield.
Next thing that I knew to do was just to start crawling. Just start crawling to the highest point.
Where he found Randy and Jake alive.
I was more than spent. I couldn't move another muscle.
This is what's left of the truck. Chris suffered second-degree burns to his arms. Randy suffered burns to his hands and injuries to his feet. And Jake suffered a brain bleed and a severe concussion.
There's nothing to do with any hero this, hero that. I mean, we love doing what we do. We have a servant's heart, all 3 of us.
But if you ask Chris, this wasn't a tragedy. It was proof of grace.
God has put each and every one of us on this earth for a reason. We may not know what it is, but He's given all 3 of us another chance to figure out what that is.
In Oklahoma City, Deanne Stein, Oklahoma's Own, News 9.
Boy, and amen to that. We've been thinking about all of these men who were injured. We do want to mention that Ralston Fire Department relies on donations. They now need a new truck. If you feel compelled to help, we've posted all the information on our website, news9.com. Other headlines, Oklahoma State University's extension specialists are offering tips about how you can keep your livestock safe during wildfires. In fact, they say have your horses loaded and ready to go before a wildfire reaches your property. Also have photographs and records of all your livestock. Officials say maintaining your property, like mowing fence lines and creating fire breaks, is also extremely important. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt issues an executive order to help Oklahoma ranchers that have been devastated by the wildfires. It temporarily suspends certain transportation rules, allowing trucks to deliver livestock feed faster. The governor says this ensures feed and water will reach our farmers and ranchers so they can start the recovery process. The order will be in effect for 14 days.
A Mexico vacation for an Oklahoma couple turns into a nightmare. Thousands of tourists have been ordered to shelter in place after violence erupts over the death of a top cartel leader. News 9's Kylie Dedman has more on what the stranded couple saw during vacation and when they could finally come back home. Kylie, good morning.
Lacey, good morning. Coming to Puerto Vallarta for this Oklahoma couple isn't anything new. Steve Perkins says that they've been coming to Puerto Vallarta every year since 2013 and have never felt unsafe until now. Now, in this video, you can see and hear multiple explosions, gunshots, and people screaming near Perkins' hotel. Perkins says they were enjoying coffee on their terrace when he heard a loud boom. Now, at first, he thought it was just nearby construction, but he said when the explosions kept going and he saw plumes of smoke in the sky, he knew something was wrong.
We always thought that the cartels stayed away from PV because it's such a big tourist area and they wouldn't want to lose all the tourist money. But now we know that the cartel folks are in and amongst the population all the time.
The couple says they're now stranded and have to shelter in place possibly until Saturday. Perkins tells News 9 that yesterday was a quiet day, but with flights being grounded, they may have to find a different hotel to stay at. Reporting live in downtown, Kylie Dedman, Oklahoma's Own, News 9.
U.S. Senator James Lankford's office says it is closely monitoring the situation in Mexico and asking any Americans there to contact the U.S. State Department. We have that information at news9.com.
And from our Washington bureau, President Donald Trump putting the finishing touches on his State of the Union address. He'll deliver it tonight on Capitol Hill. You can watch it right here on News 9. And then our bureau chief, Alex Cameron, will report live at 10 p.m. from the statutory hall, gathering reaction from our congressional delegation. Again, you can see his report shortly after. And back in the Sooner State today, Deer Creek Public Schools is hosting a job fair as the district gets ready to open its second middle school in August. That's tonight from 5 to 6:30 at Deer Creek Intermediate right near Covell and Meridian. The district says interviews may happen on site, so be sure to bring your resume.
4:40 on our Tuesday morning, and got to watch the winds and the fire danger today.
There you go. Let's check in with Megan. She's in the Bob Mills Weather Center. Hey, Megan.
Hey guys, winds ramp up this morning 8 to 9 o'clock. They'll gust to 40-45 miles per hour, which means fire danger ramps up early this morning. Through about 1 o'clock, that high fire danger from western Oklahoma into the metro, and then it will shift eastward as our winds relax some this afternoon. Rain chances in the forecast as we start March. We'll talk about it coming up.
Also ahead, the Oklahoma County Jail facing a serious budget crunch. We're talking in the millions. How it could impact staffing levels next. All right, talking fire danger again today. Really, the period that we need to be concerned about is early in the morning, between what, 9, I think you said, and noon?
Starts at about 9 through about lunchtime, and then the highest start will shift off into eastern Oklahoma. So the good news, western Oklahoma doesn't see the strongest winds today. Really, Oklahoma City off to the east is where we'll have gusts to about 40 and 45 miles per hour.
Hold on tight, huh?
Right, yeah, exactly. This morning is starting off much warmer than this time yesterday. We had teens and 20s yesterday morning, and with winds already up this morning. Temperatures are in the 30s and 40s, so not bad at all. Let me show you what's going on out the door. There are spots up in the northwest, like Fairview, that 33 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. So you'll notice that, but with the south winds already pretty gusty, it will give a little bit of a chill. The burn bans continue to grow, and this is a good thing. Remember, illegal to burn in these counties, 15 counties and growing. We've added Rogers County up in northeastern Oklahoma, only one county up in the northwest, Texas County, and then Greer County out in western Oklahoma. The good news, it does look like March brings in more rain and thunderstorm opportunities, and this is still a ways away. So March begins on Sunday, and we'll start to see at least a little bit more of an active pattern with a storm coming in from the west. This week is mostly dry, a slight chance for a few showers overnight Wednesday and into Thursday, but that's about it. High pressure has been in control. Things have been very quiet here across the Central Plains. We're kind of sandwiched in between high pressure and a storm off to the west, and that's why our winds are cranking up for today. Now you go up to the north and east. I'm sure you've heard about this big nor'easter, one of the most impactful winter storms that they have had in decades, with feet of snow being dropped anywhere from New York all the way up into Rhode Island. And I tell you what, they will be climbing out of this for several days. The good news, temperatures look to be above freezing, so the thawing process has already begun, but they do have several more waves of some snow showers headed their way that will add a little bit more in terms of accumulation, but nothing like they have seen. Anyways, back here to home, fire threat again ramps up early this morning with winds cranking up early. And the highest threat will be out to the west through the metro and then back off into eastern Oklahoma. Low humidity, winds gusting to 45 miles per hour. And then here in Oklahoma City, our winds start to relax as we go into the early afternoon. They'll still be gusty, but they won't be nearly as strong as this morning, which brings that highest threat off to the east. And the good news for the north and west, your threat becomes much lower into the afternoon. But as you get up this morning, you'll notice winds are already gusty. 43 is our temperature, and with winds up this morning, our temperatures are nowhere near as cold as this time yesterday, but we do have a wind chill value of 35 degrees. Guthrie, you're 47 degrees this morning, 45 in Okarche, 41 in Union City. Out to the east, Hera 43 degrees, and Pink sitting at 40 degrees. So temperatures are below freezing down to the south and east. Other than that, everybody else is doing just fine. Up in the northwest, winds are already gusty this morning to 28 in Woodward, Fairview to 35 and 21 in Alva. Here in the metro at about 10 to 20. So by 9 o'clock this morning, we may have winds gusting to 40 and 45. That may be a little overdone, but still very strong winds by the time we get to 9, 10 o'clock. And then notice what happens. Winds lighten up back to the west, and the strongest winds shift off to the east. Don't get me wrong, it's still a breezy to a gusty day here in Oklahoma City, but the strongest of the winds will be off to the east. And as the sun sets, the winds really come down. That combined with low humidity is our fire threat for today. That, along with very warm temperatures, Alva 78, 79 in Woodward, 72 here in Oklahoma City, and 80 degrees down in Altus. Tonight, winds stay light to breezy, temperatures very mild with cloud cover increasing. And I should mention today, you'll notice the clouds increasing as well. So mostly cloudy skies today and tomorrow. Tomorrow, winds are much lighter, but temperatures are still very warm, and a chance for a sprinkle or a shower. Highest chances Wednesday night to Thursday morning across the north and the northeast. And then it is all about those rain opportunities as we go into the first week of March. We do get a cool down on Sunday and into the first week of March that brings in some cooler temperatures and again several waves of rain and storms. We are crossing our fingers that would be some good moisture for us. Again, increasing clouds through the day today, mostly cloudy really for the next 3 days. On Thursday, we get a brief cool down back to the 70s. On Friday, 79 on Saturday. Cold front comes through, and March starts off cloudy, cool, and rainy. Guys, back over to you.
Well, this really isn't surprising. We told you it could happen, and now it is. Another crisis for the Oklahoma County Jail, this time over a $5 million budget shortfall.
Jail leadership now believes it may be forced to lay off half the staff at the jail before summer if nothing changes. News 9's Matt McCabe has the story.
An old warning from last summer has reignited with a renewed warning from county leaders that Oklahoma County's jail is $5.3 million short of what it needs to finish the fiscal year.
We're going to try to make sure we can do everything we can from the county standpoint, but we only have $1.6 million in reserve of our annual general fund. There are some one-time dollars that we could draw from potentially with legal rulings, such as opioid settlement funds, some vaping juice settlement funds.
Last week, Commissioner Brian Mon warned Metro leaders about the impending danger. The chair of the jail trust, Jim Holman, says the problem is compounded by a history of underfunding.
4 months left in the fiscal year because it ends June 30th. So whatever actions that we have to take are going to have to be pretty quick.
It's been a problem the county's been grappling with for quite some time, which is why we've been pursuing some sort of additional funding.
Holman says the jail has already tried to reduce its costs, but the bulkiest parts of its budget have a common thread.
The low-hanging fruit would be to cut payroll. But when you cut payroll, you in an already understaffed environment, the outcome of that, the consequences, I should say, of that, pretty frightening.
Despite its troubles, county leaders have not come to an agreement on presenting voters with a sales tax to fund construction of a new jail and operations.
Matt McCabe, Oklahoma's Own, News 9.
District 1 Commissioner Jason Lowe tells News 9 he thinks the trust should have been more aggressive about cutting expenses at the start of the year. District 3 Commissioner Miles Davidson has not yet responded to our request for comment.
Coming up, more of your local headlines and your forecast. And from zoo enclosures to sold out on the store shelves, how one baby monkey turned an IKEA plush into a global sensation. We'll tell you the story next.
Welcome back. IKEA shoppers have gone bananas for an orangutan plushie after a baby monkey went viral for adopting it as its mother. So here's the story. Punch, a 7-month-old baby macaque, was abandoned by his mother at a Japanese zoo. And when the zookeepers noticed, they offered him an orange orangutan stuffed animal from IKEA to help keep him comfortable, to bring him comfort. According to IKEA officials Monday, the plushie sold out. So I guess it's bringing comfort to other people.
I think we need one of those.
Oh my gosh, the little monkey's so cute.
Look
so
at him.
The stuffed animal's going crazy. Oh my gosh. How adorable.
That's amazing.
I know, you can just watch it.
It's like,
why
why
did they
does
pick
this-
an orangutan for a macaque?
I'm just guessing that somebody just had it. I'm
Okay,
like, here.
they're like, throw this to him.
Like, okay, it'll be your mom
Yeah,
for a
whatever.
while. Yeah.
And then
You
it's
know,
taken off.
IKEA's like,
I
"Nah,
just
we'll
like,
put
look,
this
he's
on the
just
shelf."
dragging that thing around.
I didn't realize it was from IKEA. I thought you only got furniture and meatballs there.
Yeah.
Meatballs.
Yeah.
The Swedish meatballs.
Meatballs
At
are big
IKEA, yeah.
at IKEA.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
We'll have to go when it
And
comes
the
to Tulsa.
plushies. And the orangutan
You know,
plushies.
that they just put it out there and we're like, we won't sell any of these, but whatever. And now they're like, oh no, we got to get more.
How are we doing weather-wise today, Megan?
Today's about fire danger, especially this morning. Winds are going to crank up as early as 9 o'clock this morning. So fire danger will be high here in Oklahoma City. Then that threat will shift farther east as we go into the afternoon as winds start to back off some. This morning they are already breezy to gusty up in the northwest. Little cloud cover and clouds increase through the day today. Here are your winds by about 9 o'clock this morning. That may be a little overdone, but gusts to 40 and 45. We'll talk more about it coming up.
President Trump gives his State of the Union address tonight. A live look at what's on the agenda next.
Reconsider if you're coming to Mexico, because we've always felt safe here until yesterday, and we're never coming back.
And Oklahoman's urgent warning as widespread cartel violence leaves him stranded in Mexico. I'm Colby Thielen here, his firsthand account of the unrest he's seeing.
The Harmon Sheriff's Office is now under criminal investigation just days after the sheriff and deputies resigned. This is way in southwest Oklahoma near Hollis. I'm Robin Marsh. The concerns from residents there in Harmon County.
And another high wildfire danger day ahead for Oklahomans as firefighters try to recoup from fighting fires days ago. I'm Lacey Lowry, your full forecast in just a moment.
Live from downtown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma's own News 9 starts now.
Good morning, Oklahoma, 5 o'clock on your Tuesday. We do want to remind you we are live right now on the News 9 YouTube channel. You can scan this QR code right here on your screen. It'll take you there. Just subscribe to the channel and then hop into the live chat, leave us a comment, ask a question, and we will read some of those later on.
All right, this morning, got to be weather aware because fire danger today and very windy.
Let's get over to Lacey Swope and say good morning here at 5 a.m. Looks like kind of a big day on tap, Lacey.
Good morning. You know, with fire days, you never know, Robin. Sometimes we don't have any fires whatsoever. The fire has to get started first. Now, absolutely, if a fire begins, they could start to spread very rapidly. But I'll tell you, there's a huge difference between today and 1 week ago when those fires were burning out of control. Today, winds will be gusting 35, maybe up to 45, and firefighters can get a handle on those types of situations. Still, not a day to burn, and our list of illegal counties to burn in is growing. I'll show you those burn bans coming up. Winds are already gusty. They've been gusty overnight. Our strongest winds will be from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. when the fire threat is high, again, 35 to 40. Many controlled or prescribed burns yesterday. Watch those closely as we head into the day today. Now, if you're in western Oklahoma, your winds stay fairly light, especially into the midday and afternoon hours. It's kind of central eastern Oklahoma. And as we head into next week, rain chances start to return Oklahoma. But we have several dry days to get through. And this morning, winds already kicking around our cameras on our Lucky Star Sky Cam network. It is 42 degrees. Yesterday, we had teens and 20s as you were heading out. It is much warmer this morning. Winds are 15 to 25. Some gusts already to 35 miles per hour. So 40s out the door, down into the 20s where winds are light in southeast Oklahoma. And afternoon highs rebound back into the 70s. Now we'll see 70s the next couple of days. I'll have your wind timeline and more of those rain chances coming up.
We begin with the latest out of Mexico, where thousands of American tourists are asked to shelter in place.
Yeah, the region has been rocked with violence after the Mexican army killed the country's most wanted drug cartel leader, El Mencho. We know 25 members of Mexico's National Guard died in those violent clashes. Mexico's security officials say most roadblocks have been cleared.
In fact, several Mexican states canceled school yesterday, and some travelers are actually stuck at the airport as the airlines work to restore full service. We have actually been talking with Oklahomans who are still stranded there in Mexico this morning.
Our Kylie Dedman joins us live right now. And Kylie, one couple says that their vacation has just turned into a nightmare.
Yeah, for this Oklahoma couple, coming to Puerto Vallarta isn't anything new for them. Steve Perkins says that they've been coming every year since 2013 and have never felt unsafe until now. Now, in this video, you can hear multiple explosions, gunshots, and people screaming from Perkins' hotel, nearby his hotel. Now, Perkins says they were enjoying coffee on their terrace when he heard a loud boom. Now, at first, he thought it was just nearby construction, but he said when the explosions kept going and he saw plumes of smoke in the sky, he knew something was wrong.
We always thought that the cartels stayed away from PV because it's such a big tourist area and they wouldn't want to lose all the tourist money. But now we know that the cartel folks are in and amongst the population all the time.
The couple says they are now stranded and have to shelter in place possibly until Saturday. Perkins told News 9 that yesterday was a quiet day, but with flights being grounded, they may have to find a different hotel to stay at. Reporting live in downtown, Kylie Dedman, Oklahoma's own News 9.
All right, Kylie, thank you. We know the U.S. Embassy and consulates in Mexico are also asking their staff in affected areas to shelter in place. Meanwhile, U.S. Senators Mark Wayne Mullen and James Langford say Oklahomans in Mexico can contact their offices for help. They also say Oklahomans should sign up for the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program so the U.S. Department of State can contact them quickly. Plus, avoid those areas with police activity and follow guidance from local authorities.
A teenager is charged and 2 people are in jail after a 19-year-old was ambushed and killed at an Oklahoma City hair appointment. Police say the victim, Emmett Gresham, was getting his hair cut at an apartment near Northeast 4th and Lottie when 2 men barged in, robbed him, and then shot and killed him. Police say 17-year-old Tyree Holly was the getaway driver. We are naming him because he is now charged with murder as an adult. Officers also arrested Anisha Washington and Latavian Bowler on first-degree murder. At least 1 more suspect, a 4th suspect, is still on the run.
And police arrest an 18-year-old accused of driving under the influence before a deadly car crash at a Metro pond. Officers say Alana Hamilton was intoxicated when she sped, then crashed into a pond right near Northwest 122nd and Western. This was early Sunday morning. Police say Hamilton and 2 passengers made it out of that car, but the dive team had to pull Dariana Hall out later. She died at the hospital. This isn't the first time that we've reported on a deadly crash at a neighborhood pond. In fact, officers say 2 teens, Marlon Green and Charlie Huddle, drowned in 2014 after their car hit the curb and fell into the pond. Police say the teen driver was speeding and survived the crash.
Boy, talk about frightening moments in Tulsa over the weekend, and now we are talking with some of the people who were in this crowd when that demolition derby car crashed through the barricade there at Tulsa. Police still have not said the total number of people who were hurt or the extent of their injuries.
The car hit me and I was turning with the fence and the car. I seen the sparks go up from the vehicle.
All I remember is I was laying on my left side and the tire was right here on me, and I could see the whole underside of the car, and the fence got lifted up and stood up, and I was dripping blood.
That woman was one of the people injured that we talked to. Organizers of the Starbird Derby car show still have not responded to News 9's requests for a comment.
Taking a live look at the U.S. Capitol this morning, President Donald Trump will give his State of the Union address tonight in front of a joint session of Congress. He's expected to outline the accomplishments of his second term and lay out his agenda for the year. Congressional Democrats are split over whether to attend it.
It's important to show the American public that someone that has led the single most corrupt government in U.S. history, that there has to be action against that.
I think it's important to confront him face to face. I refuse to let him bully me out of the room.
Our Washington Bureau Chief Alex Cameron will be there at the speech and have the highlights from the president's address. The speech starts tonight at 8 p.m. We'll be following it. You can watch it live right here on News 9.
5:08 on our Tuesday morning, and high fire danger again today.
Let's turn to the Bob Mills Weather Center. Lacey Swope with us. Lacey, what time can we expect this?
Well, the winds are already up right now. Our peak kind of winds and the worst fire conditions from 9 o'clock until about 1 p.m. Ladies, it is a ponytail kind of day. Another windy day, but winds aren't extreme. Sometimes our winds get crazy, gusting 50, 60, close to 70 miles per hour. 1 week ago today, that's what we were dealing with. That is not the case today. Gusts right now are 25 to 30. Temperatures are in the 40s because those winds have been up, keeping those temperatures much warmer than yesterday morning. Coming up in full weather, we'll time out the winds statewide. I'm tracking shower chances for tomorrow night, which does include the metro, slight chance. And then next week, it looks very wet off and on. The full forecast is coming up.
Still ahead, so many Oklahomans wondering how those 3 firefighters are doing. They were injured in a bad crash while fighting wildfires. We talk with one of them, still in his hospital room. It's next on News 9.
But next, artificial intelligence is changing the workplace faster than ever. The simple steps you can take now so you don't get left behind. It's ahead on 9.
Welcome back. The Northeast right now getting rocked by snow. This is a time-lapse video from Rhode Island. By the way, they got a whopping 38 inches of snow.
Oh my gosh.
It's their worst snowstorm yet. That is insane.
That's taller than my 3-year-old.
That's crazy.
Oh,
You could lose a child in it, yeah.
That flag barely hanging on there. Wow.
The winds were 60 to almost 70 at times too. So blizzard-like conditions. The snow's gone now. I mean, it's all ended. This was a time lapse probably from yesterday morning when it was hitting. But unbelievable amounts of snow. And heavy,
40
wet snow.
inches almost of snow.
That's enough to make roofs collapse, buildings, you know, big old buildings, especially they don't have a lot of interior support. The roofs can collapse on it with that amount of weight from the snow. It's unbelievable.
It's been cold enough too where the last snowstorm they got was probably still sticking around.
Oh yeah,
They weren't over that one.
They've had a very brutal winter, and that nor'easter was definitely one for the record book. Some areas had more snow than they've seen in almost 10 years, and now we're already starting to see a little bit of that begin to melt. But that's the storm that brought us the cold weekend.
Yeah,
we were dry out of that storm. We need the moisture, and if it came in the form of snow, hey, I think right now the farmers, the ranchers, landowners, any moisture at all, we will take. But here's some of the totals. This is kind of showing you isolated areas, 10, 20, 24, but it was really Rhode Island and Massachusetts that were hit the absolute hardest with 30 to 38 inches of snow. Unbelievable. That moisture would be so beneficial across Oklahoma because we are hurting for water for sure. The drought rages on. Some areas have not had beneficial moisture since before Thanksgiving. And we do have some shower chances coming up off and on, but next week is sure looking good with off and on rain throughout the week. Several inches of rain will be possible if the system next week lines out. Right now, all is quiet and dry, but our next storm is coming in from the west, kicking up our winds. It's already a little gusty this morning. We're looking down from space on satellite imagery. This is infrared, and if there were any hot spots or fires, you would see those as a black dot. Right now, no fires ongoing. We hope we keep it that way throughout the day today. Yesterday, there were several controlled burns and prescribed burns. Those have been extinguished mostly, but there are still going to be areas that are smoldering. There will still be coals. Watch those for potential reignition later today. That is very possible. And then just be careful with your chains. Don't throw out your cigarette butts. Don't burn your trash on a day like today, and definitely not a day to burn any brush piles. And now the list of counties under burn ban continues to grow up to 15 counties listed now. Be careful. Treat it like we're under a burn ban statewide. Winds are already 15 to 25. They're pretty gusty overnight. You might have heard them. If you're waking up this morning feeling like you didn't get great sleep, that may be a reason why. Those winds were kind of loud. 42 degrees is the temperature, and we just had a gust to nearly 30 at Will Rogers, 28 in Watonga, 18 in El Reno. These are the wind gusts in the last 5 minutes, and it's more of a south to a southwesterly wind, which actually drops the humidity. Temperatures are in the 30s, the low 40s. Some areas we are 30 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. All right, hour by hour forecast. Watch we go from the 40s to the 50s, 60s, and we'll land in the low 70s this afternoon with partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies. We'll see some 70s turn to almost 80 degrees in the southwest and in the panhandle today. But look at your winds out west. They are so much weaker than what we'll see in central Oklahoma. However, your winds are light, but your humidity down to 4% in Guyman. That's desert-like air. 9% in Woodward, 16% in Oklahoma City, which means everything could ignite so easily, all that dormant vegetation. But again, firefighters would be able to get a handle on a fire. Just be careful. Let's give the firefighters a break today. Central Oklahoma, 8, 9 o'clock. Look at the wind gusts, 40, 45. May have a gust or two approach 50 miles per hour. But by lunchtime, winds are already coming down in central Oklahoma. Still gusty off to the east. Now, they don't just relax. They're still 20, 25 miles per hour into the afternoon. But the strongest winds are from 9 o'clock until 1 p.m. After that, the strongest winds shift into eastern Oklahoma, and the fire threat becomes low to moderate. Now, we're watching for rain. We've got a storm system that approaches for tonight. It does give us the cold front tonight, a weak north wind for your Wednesday. Will also bring us a chance for maybe a few spotty showers heading into Thursday morning. That moves out. Saturday, we are in the 70s and 80s. Now, the record on Saturday in Oklahoma City is 90, so we're not breaking records. Sunday, a chance for a few showers as a pretty strong cold front moves in, and that locks us in with below average temperatures. Next storm coming in from the southwest could bring us several different rounds of rain, and we're watching for that. We'll update you as it gets closer. And again, some of the latest data this morning, I really like the look of this storm, and it'll give us maybe the potential for a few inches of rain, depending on where you are in the state of Oklahoma. More coming up. Tonight, a weak boundary. We're in the 30s and 40s. Winds are much calmer overnight tonight. Your Wednesday, winds are 10 to 15. They're fairly light, and it's in the 70s. Tomorrow is an absolutely beautiful day. Still low humidity, so watch the fire danger. And then by tomorrow night, early Thursday, chance for a few spotty showers to the north, 30% chance, 10% chance in the metro. And Thursday, highs are still above average by about 10 degrees. We're in the 60s and 70s. Back to the mid 70s heading into Friday, upper 70s Saturday. Stronger front hits. Lows drop back into the 30s, and highs will be in the 40s and 50s into next week. Back to you guys.
Artificial intelligence is changing how we work, and for some Oklahomans, it's sparking a new kind of anxiety.
Yeah, News 9's Madison Jones explains how we can stay up to date with the technology at any age.
New data shows skill demands in AI-exposed jobs are changing 66% faster than they did just a year ago. That means what you got hired a few years ago may not be enough today, but experts say staying relevant is more about mindset than technology.
FOBO, it's real, and it's creeping into our work life, home life, practically all other parts of our lives.
I guess you could say that.
Our jobs can easily be replaced.
AI is no longer a future skill, it's a present expectation. New data shows AI literacy is quickly becoming a requirement across all industries, even in jobs that never asked for tech skills before. That shift is fueling FOBO, meaning fear of being obsolete.
I have multiple businesses. AI could take over if they really wanted to. And I had that same fear.
Career coaches say that fear is understandable, but misplaced. The real risk isn't AI taking your role, it's not adapting at all. And adapting doesn't mean becoming a tech expert overnight. It can start small.
Once I got over that fear, I use AI to check my stuff, write better emails, more professional, and in turn I'm getting more contracts.
Experts say this mindset, using AI as a tool, not a threat, applies far beyond the workplace. Staying relevant as we age means staying curious. That can look like joining groups with mixed age ranges, learning from younger people, or sharing your experience in mentorship roles. It also means continuing to learn through free online AI courses, micro-learning modules, or simply practicing new tools every day. It also means continuing to learn through free online AI courses, micro-learning modules, or simply practicing new tools in everyday tasks like emails or planning. And the benefits go beyond work. Staying engaged, learning new things, and building cross-generational connections can help keep your mind sharp and your life rich.
Experts say you don't have to completely overhaul your career. Start by exploring one AI tool this week, and remember that small steps can help you build confidence quickly. For Oklahoma's Own, I'm Madison Jones.
All right, there you go. We all need all the help we can get. Career experts say the key is just being consistent in your learning. Even just 10 to 15 minutes a day can make a difference.
Still ahead here on News 9, how a Major League Baseball player is stepping up to help Oklahoma firefighters in need. We'll show you the unexpected donation and how it was received coming up after this.
A Major League Baseball player is stepping in to help Oklahoma firefighters. MLB pitcher Walker Bueller's Family Foundation just donated all these pallets of water and Gatorade to the Elgin Fire Department. It all started when a local resident here in Oklahoma just texted Bueller for help, and he said, yeah, we got you, because that's what his foundation does. His nonprofit supports first responders and their well-being. The fire chief in Elgin says they plan to share the donations because there are so many of them. We wondered if he had a connection, this MLB player, to Oklahoma. No, he doesn't. He helps anyone and everyone, his foundation, and Oklahoma, the recipient of his latest.
I just love that someone thought, hey, I'm just going to ask.
I'm just going to ask this MLB pitcher.
All he can do is say no. And he said
it.
yes. How
Simply
cool.
ask.
So they just texted him? Like,
yeah.
How do you get the number?
I don't know. Let me know.
Foundation, but I mean, isn't it great when you see the generosity of people who
and
are so
Elgin
successful?
saying we will share the donations because he gave us so much.
I love it.
Pretty
That's
cool.
great. Yeah, we need some other kind of water. It's
Yeah,
so
it's
dry.
rain,
Everything
right?
is dry out there. Let's turn to the Bob Mills Weather Center. Any chance anytime soon, Lacey?
We have rain chances coming up. I think what's amazing is when you see those donations coming in, that tells you how compelling that the problems are in Oklahoma. That tells you that the need is so great. Those folks across the country were seeing the video of those major wildfires and trying to figure out how they could help. And we saw that in so many different aspects. So, not good commentary, that's for sure. We wish the video coming out wasn't so horrific. I'll tell you, today, we could have more fires. The fire danger does ramp up as we head through the next several hours. Some of the winds today could be 35, 40, even gusting to 50 out of the southwest with lighter winds in western Oklahoma. Fire danger not as high for folks in our western counties. And then the winds do back off this afternoon and evening. And we have found rain chances. We've been talking about it. We'll detail the rain timeline coming up for you.
And still ahead, a year-long construction project widening the Kilpatrick Turnpike will cause some headaches for drivers. What you need to expect, we'll show you the route. It's coming up.
watching Oklahoma's own News 9 this morning.
5:30 on your Tuesday morning. Good morning. Top stories right now. Oklahomans are stranded in Mexico as widespread violence forces thousands of Americans to shelter in place. The unrest started after the Mexican army killed notorious drug cartel leader El Mencho. U.S. Senator James Langford says Oklahomans who need help need to contact his office.
Oklahoma City police arrest a woman accused of driving under the influence, crashing into a pond and killing someone near Northwest 122nd and Western. Officers say the suspect, Alana Hamilton, and two of her passengers got out safely when the car plunged under the water this weekend. But a fourth passenger, Dariana Hall, died at the hospital.
President Donald Trump will deliver his State of the Union address tonight, and congressional Democrats are split on attending, with some planning to attend other events in protest. Our Washington Bureau Chief Alex Cameron will be there, and we'll have updates later tonight. You can watch that right here on News 9, and you can watch us right now on the News 9 YouTube channel. Just scan that QR code. It'll take you there. Subscribe, leave a comment, leave any questions that you might have in that chat, and we'll get to them throughout the show.
I'm trying to get to it. Every time we say it, I figure
I'm going like, and we'll share your comments.
Okay, there we go.
I'm
already subscribed, right?
I think we got about 100 folks on this morning.
There we go.
So, Lacey, everyone's wondering about the wildfire threat. You know, not as bad as last week, but still, you got to be weather aware today.
Yeah, you have to be prepared for the wind. That's what could drive the fires. The humidity really drops today. Plus, that'll kick up more dust. That always kicks up the allergens as well. Today, the kind of a bit of a gritty day with winds already strong, 15 to 25. We're getting gusts just under 30 in central Oklahoma. The winds are much stronger once you get into the Rocky Mountains, and our next storm system coming in from the west. As it comes in, low pressure gets stronger and deeper. We'll see those winds pick up even more as the sun rises. The big time winter storm, the big nor'easter off the east coast, is now making its way off into the Atlantic, and it has dumped up to 38 inches of snow in portions of the New England states. This is from one of our viewers. A relative of theirs lives in Rhode Island. That's their front door. Yeah, some of the drifts have been several feet high. I mean, the amount of snow was over 3 feet. Because of that, there are still flight cancellations from Will Rogers to portions of New York. So check your flights. Oh, there went somebody. Where were they headed? Maybe they were headed to Hawaii. Wouldn't that be amazing? Lucky Star Skycam Network jet setting this morning. 42 degrees is the current temperature. Skies right now are mostly clear. We've got winds anywhere from 15, 25, some gusts to 30, and a southwest component of the wind drops the humidity like a rock through the day. Now, temperatures are in the 40s for most locations as you head out versus those teens from yesterday morning. 71 degrees will be the temperature at 4 o'clock, and the fire danger is high for a window this afternoon. We'll talk more about what to expect with your wind timeline statewide. Guys, we found rain chances. We've been talking about it. We'll detail your 9-day coming up.
All right, can't wait to hear more about that. Lacey, thanks so much. Well, I tell you what, if you're driving on the west side of the metro, you might have some traffic troubles for a year. That massive project on the Kilpatrick started yesterday. That's a nice intro to you, Megan. Good morning.
Good morning, Robin. This will take about a year until spring of 2027 up on the northwest side. Again, the Kilpatrick Turnpike, a big, massive widening project from Wilshire up to 122nd. The good news, the turnpike stays open throughout this entire project, but there will be some shifting of the lanes and some closures at times. If you do travel to Kilpatrick up on the northwest side, I would give yourself a few extra minutes because there may be a few changes day to day depending upon what they're working on at that specific time. So again, from Wilshire up to Northwest 122nd, and once it's completed, we'll be grateful for it. There's a live look there from our American Fidelity camera. Broadway extension down on the southwest side, I-35 looking good. Camera shaking a little bit with our winds already gusty this morning, and your drive times as of right now are still good to go. Of course, we'll let you know if that changes. Back to you all.
Megan, thank you. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation is launching a criminal investigation into the Harmon County Sheriff's Office. This is just days after the sheriff and other officials suddenly resigned. Harmon County, that's in far southwest Oklahoma, is right up against the border. And a now deleted Facebook post showed Sheriff Steve Cornett, a deputy administrator and detention deputy, resigned this weekend for, quote, unforeseen circumstances. The OSBI told News 9 their investigation is related to the Oklahoma Computer Crimes Act. Concerned people in Hollis say they deserve to know what's going on.
Previously, the sheriff's office has been under investigation multiple times, and there has to be an ease in our town, in our county of, hey, we need protection. We need people that we can trust in office.
The Highway Patrol says that troopers will step in to field calls in Harmon County if needed.
Let's go ahead and take a live look at the state capitol from our Lucky Star Skycam network on your Tuesday morning. It could soon be a felony to impersonate a law enforcement officer, thanks to a bill that is moving through the state capitol. This would actually upgrade the crime from a misdemeanor to a felony. It would come with up to 5 years in prison and a $10,000 fine if you are convicted. The bill has passed unanimously out of the Senate. It still has to go through the House before it can become law. We'll be watching what happens.
Guthrie high schoolers will attend class online this Thursday and Friday. It's virtual this week. The district says crews need some time to replace a gas line in the high school building. School leaders say they found the issue during ongoing construction. So again, virtual Thursday and Friday for the high school. Classes go back to in-person next Monday.
Governor Kevin Stitt issues a new order to help ranchers struggling from last week's wildfires. His order removes some registration and weight requirements for commercial vehicles that deliver livestock feed, water, and hay into the state. This lasts for 2 weeks. The governor says that it will make it faster for ranchers to get the help they need. Later today, Governor Stitt is set to update us on how the state is preparing for wildfires. The governor told us last week he was happy with the state's response. That press conference is set for 11:30. We'll be following.
So many ranchers right now need hay and like immediate feed for their animals because those fires just burned up entire fields and hay pastures.
Yeah, it doesn't just affect, you know, your livelihood and your livestock, the future of everything. And so our thoughts are with them for sure. We need the rain for sure as well.
Need the rain, and fortunately today seems like a little bit lower chances for out west. Let's talk to Lacey Swope about it. She's in the Bob Mills Weather Center. Lacey?
Yeah, lower chances for sure as far as the big spreading of wildfires because the winds will be so weak, but the humidity drops like 4% for our western counties. That still puts us in a high risk for fires. It's just the spread rate would be slower. Now, we need rain. We've gone since many areas 90 plus days without a quarter of an inch of rain in the Northwest. This is before Thanksgiving. It's wild. We have extreme drought across the state, but rain chances are bumping up. We'll talk about that storm system and of course your wind timeline for your Tuesday. It's coming up.
All I could do is just curl up in a ball and pray to the good Lord that he'd get me out of there.
A Roston volunteer firefighter sharing his story of survival with News 9 after his fire truck falls into a burning canyon. We have an update from him. He's in the hospital. The story next.
All right. We love our meteorologist, Lacey Swope. And now, guess what? She's going to have to add teacher to her resume.
Oh, yeah.
Lacey, how exciting for you yesterday at Bethel Middle School.
I had to
Tell
give
us
a huge
about
shout out to Bethel Middle School there. Absolutely incredible. This is Mrs. Cartwright. She was able to do the Van de Graaff experiment in front of all the middle school students there. There's about 300 kids. We talked all things about severe weather safety. And honestly, this is one of my absolute favorite parts of my job, is getting to go out to schools and talk about severe weather safety. They were so well behaved. Sometimes when we get the prizes out and we start throwing them, they jump all over each other. Riots begin. No, they were so well behaved. All parents should be so proud. Thank you so much to everybody. Everybody was so attentive. They were hooting and hollering, screaming for all the video, excited about Oklahoma weather, took away a thing or two about safety and just what to expect as we near spring.
I love it. Did they have any questions, or was it really just more of a presentation?
It was more of a presentation kind of throughout the entire time. I took all the time yapping myself, honestly.
Imagine
and
that.
talking with the teachers. But Mr. Fowler set this up, and thank you so much to everybody who had us out. Coming up at 9 a.m., we're going to play more of that portion of the video. We make a thunderstorm, and honestly, I've gone to hundreds of schools at this point and made a thunderstorm with them. That was one of the best sounding I've
Okay, is
ever
that what
heard.
they're doing? They're clapping and jumping?
Yes.
Okay.
It sounds just like a supercell raging through your town.
You've never played that game with us here, Lacey. I
Want
kind of feel
to?
left out. Yeah.
We'll do it in the next half hour.
Okay,
If you
sounds
start
good.
slow.
We need the rain, however we can get it.
For sure.
Come
We were just
on.
pretending we were hearing it yesterday.
Right,
we want
yes.
that pitter patter on the roof. We have rain chances into next week. Today, it's much more about the fire danger.
Yeah.
Winds picking up. The spring forecast is coming up too. David's going to have that for you in the coming weeks. But there are already signs of spring. That's Norman, guys. The daffodils are up in bloom. The Bradford pears, some of the earliest to bloom out, and that is happening. Now, one of the good things about fire danger, as everything starts to green up, the fire threat starts to come down. That fuel for wildfires will start to really diminish, but we are not there yet. We're just in the very infancy stages here of spring developing across Oklahoma. So everyone's trying to get their controlled burns in, their prescribed burns in. There were lots yesterday. That's the red dots on the map. Today, winds are picking up. Humidity's low. Not a day to have controlled burns. They could burn out of control rapidly, and fires from yesterday could reignite. So be careful. No ongoing fires. We're watching closely on satellite imagery today for any spots that could become hot and grow with a wildfire threat. And I just want to point out the list of counties continues to increase where it is illegal to burn. Check before you do any burning today. Just don't do it at all. And some cities have burn bans as well. And that's a good thing for the amount of moisture that we're lacking across Oklahoma. Drought conditions are raging on. Winds are up. You probably heard them overnight. And this is our Lucky Star Skycam Network live from Chickasha. Winds are gusting close to 30. And I want to point out the humidity is 44%. That is very low for the morning time, and it gets down to single digits this afternoon. Winds are 15, 25, some gusts to 30, already kind of blowing things around. It'll be another dusty day today. Temperatures are in the low 40s. So yesterday, the kiddos needed the big heavy coat to get out the door. This morning, the jacket will do, and then we'll actually see temperatures warm to the 70s later this afternoon. 79 in Woodward. It'll feel hot. 80 in the Panhandle, 80 in Altus, 73 in Ardmore, 71 in Stillwater. And watch the humidity as we go through the day. Again, around 45% this morning, but falling to the single digits and teens later today, which means all that dormant vegetation from the drought, just from it being wintertime, could ignite very quickly, very rapidly. It makes it very combustible. Then we increase the wind. Winds 45 to 50, a fire would spread very rapidly. But notice, folks in western Oklahoma, today's not your high wildfire danger day. Thank goodness. Today, your winds are much weaker. Then as we go through the afternoon, winds start to come down, and by this evening, they're much more manageable. But there'll be a window from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. where the fire danger is high, and then it does drop off from west to east by the afternoon, still remaining high in the southeast. And just remember, there were a lot of controlled burns yesterday in southeast Oklahoma. We warm up, so we've got temperatures 60s, 70s, and we're kind of hovering there. We've got a weak front that arrives tonight. Much stronger cold front presses in on Sunday. Big difference between Saturday and Sunday for your weekend. That front on Sunday may bring a few showers, and then what we're watching is a slow-moving upper-level low next week. Could bring us round after after round of rain across the state, maybe some thunderstorms, and it's still looking good to bring. By the time we get through the first full week of March, we may end up with several inches of rain. It's sure looking good right now. Lows tonight in the 30s and 40s, a weak front. Temperatures tomorrow in the 70s, a warm day, 75 degrees in Oklahoma City with a slight chance of rain tomorrow night into Thursday. Might get a few sprinkles, not enough to help with the drought, but hey, might just kind of settle the dust a little bit. Then we're back up to 74 Friday, 79 Saturday, a high of only 50 on Sunday for the first day of March. Back to you guys.
All I could do is just curl up in a ball and pray to the good Lord that he'd get me out of there, get me out of that situation. And he answered you, didn't he? And he answered.
And he answered. Boy, lucky to be alive. We are now hearing from one of those 3 Ralston, Oklahoma volunteer firefighters. He survived, along with his buddies, this terrifying crash while they were out battling wildfires.
Yeah, what you're looking at is video of the aftermath of their truck after they drove into a burning canyon near Beaver County last week.
News 9's Dan Stein has more on their miraculous survival.
I couldn't ask for better guys to be on a fire with.
Chris Campbell gets emotional when talking about last Tuesday's crash with Jake Edwards and Randy Masters.
We're a lot closer now.
The 3 Ralston volunteer firefighters were battling the wildfires in Beaver and Harper counties just before it happened.
We turned to get on that fire line, and it was almost immediate. You could see fire and then nothing but smoke.
Chris said he hit the brakes, throwing the fire truck into reverse and right over a canyon.
It felt like we had rolled 2 or 3 times.
Trying to escape the cab, Chris remembers the flames coming in as he tried to kick out the windshield.
Next thing that I knew to do was just to start crawling. Just start crawling to the highest point.
Where he found Randy and Jake alive.
I was more than spent. I couldn't move another muscle.
This is what's left of the truck. Chris suffered second-degree burns to his arms. Randy suffered burns to his hands and injuries to his feet. And Jake suffered a brain bleed and a severe concussion.
There's nothing to do with any hero this, hero that. I mean, we love doing what we do. We have a servant's heart, all 3 of us.
But if you ask Chris, this wasn't a tragedy. It was proof of grace.
God has put each and every one of us on this earth for a reason. We may not know what it is, but he's given all 3 of us another chance to figure out what that is.
In Oklahoma City, Deanne Stein, Oklahoma's Own, News 9.
So glad he's okay. Chris hopes to be discharged from the hospital sometime this week. The other 2 firefighters, Randy and Jake, are now at home recovering. We do know their volunteer fire department needs a new truck. If you would like to help, we have a link to donate at news9.com.
Still ahead, an Oklahoma man is taking on the 2,200-mile hike on the Appalachian Trail. How family is driving the 74-year-old's hike after this. Welcome back. We are streaming live right now on our YouTube stream, and we've asked you to comment, subscribe, and here's what you said. Renee says, someone needs to be doing the rain dance. My plants are absolutely in need.
We'll do the dance.
Yes.
So many people feeling that way.
Hang on, I think March might bring a little more rain for us. That's what Lacey was talking about this morning. John says, just subscribe. Good morning, everyone. I'm cooking biscuits and gravy. Wish you were here.
It's one of my favorites.
Is that an invite?
Can we just go ahead?
Is that an invite?
Y'all won't
What's your
miss me if
address?
we just go ahead and kind of tap out.
John,
for a
that
second.
sounds good. Oh my goodness. Yeah, subscribe and we'll share some more comments. I think everyone's just needing rain. I mean, that is so true.
All 77 counties
Yes.
struggling for water. At this time last year, we had drought ongoing, and we had horrible wildfires into the month of March. This year, our drought is significantly worse than this time
Really?
last year.
That's
Yes.
not good.
So every time the winds pick up, we're back into a high wildfire danger situation. And we're there today. Today, the winds will be picking up. We're dry today. Temperatures warm back into the 70s. Average highs are in the 50s, guys. But we do have rain chances next week. There's a slow-moving storm. It arrives from the west. It'll probably bring us rounds of rain. So times and periods will be dry next week, but other areas, some heavy rain we're watching.
Oh boy, Megan, by the way, speaking of traffic stuff, 23rd Street, nightmare. It was so bad yesterday. I know you're keeping an eye on that area.
Big project started, right?
Yeah, right there.
Kilpatrick, too.
Robinson.
Patrick.
So we need rain and less construction cones. Got it. Hey, here's an inspiring story for your morning. An Oklahoma man about to hike the Appalachian Trail, and he is 74 years young. It takes about 4 to 6 months for the 2,200-mile hike from Georgia to Maine. Our Mike Glover shows us the special motivation behind this Oklahoma man's endeavor.
He walks 6 to 7 miles 6 days a week, but his walking is done for a purpose.
I was in the Air Force, went back to Illinois, got married.
He served 20 years with his wife and high school sweetheart by his side.
God has made that correct person for you. Pam was certainly that.
The two had talked about hiking the Appalachian Trail, but sadly, Pam passed away before they could make the hike a reality.
Honoring Pam by doing something that we had talked about.
So Mr. John, at 74 years old, will set out to make the hike on March 4th.
Why the 4th of March? That was Pam's birthday.
Of the hundreds of people that set out to make the hike each year, only 25% are able to complete it. So Mr. John is taking this challenge very seriously.
I've got a trainer who's holding me accountable. I started out at 212 and I'm down to 180.
He walks 6 to 7 miles every morning, no matter the weather, with his 30-pound backpack that he will carry on the hike.
My sleeping bag, I've got a little cook stove, my tent. This little device here is a GPS unit.
Along the trail are about 200 hostels specifically for the hikers to rest and reset themselves.
I'll hike 6 days a week, rest on Sunday.
Through his hike, Mr. John is also raising money for the Wounded Warriors Project.
So please come and join me, follow along, do the trail with me.
We'll have the link to support and encourage Mr. John with this story on our website. The physical and mental challenges of purpose.
I'm ready.
That is something good. I'm Mike Glover for Oklahoma's Own.
He looks ready.
He looks great.
Man,
Good luck.
way to go. All right, coming up, a big story we're following. Funding troubles at the Oklahoma County Jail could force the county to lay off half of the jail staff. What county leaders say is the problem. How much is the problem? It's next at 6.
There's nothing to do with any hero this, hero that. I mean, we love doing what we do. You know, we have a servant's heart, all three of us.
An Oklahoma firefighter hurt while battling last week's wildfires shares his story of survival from his hospital bed. I'm Lacey Lowry, right now on News 9 at 6, what he remembers after his fire truck crashed. Plus this.
At that time, I knew that there was something not great going on.
And we talked to an Oklahoma couple stuck in Mexico amidst the violence after a drug cartel leader is killed. I'm Colby Thielen, what they saw as that violence erupted.
I'm Robin Marsh. Good morning. There is a chance of a high fire danger today and another cold front on the way. Lacey Swope's forecast is coming up on 9.
Live from downtown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma's own News 9 starts now.
6 a.m. on a Tuesday morning as we say good morning, Oklahoma. Thanks for choosing News 9. We got a lot going on today.
We sure do. And here in just a little bit, I'm going to need to borrow some of your hairspray.
Okay, yeah.
It's going to be quite a windy day today.
I got that aqua glue for you, big guy.
Sweet.
It's not going
Ponytail going.
Paste
It is
down.
a high wildfire danger threat today. Let's check back in with Lacey Swope. She's in the Bob Mills Weather Center. Hey, Lace.
Yeah, that freezing spray is the day that you need that. That's for sure. It really lock things in. Winds pick up, and that could spread a fire very rapidly on a day like today. We also have warm temperatures, guys. These 60s and 70s over the next few days are much more typical of late April, early May versus February. The final 6 days here, 5 days here of February are going to be very warm. Then March starts off much cooler, also wetter. Rain chances are going up. We're looking at it, especially as we head into Sunday and midweek next week, off and on potentially for the first 6 or 7 days of March. It's a good pattern. We'll talk more about it. Today, we're still very dry. Winds are up on our Lucky Star Sky Cam network. You can already see the gusty winds there on our Chickasha cam. It's 42, so temperatures are 10 to 20 to almost 30 degrees warmer than this time yesterday, but the humidity is low. It's down to 46%, and it drops rapidly after the sun comes up. Sun comes up, humidity drops, and these winds really increase. Some of these values will double. We're getting winds 20, 25, close to 30. They're not out of control. We won't see extreme winds today, and that window for the strong winds is pretty narrow. Temperatures right now, as you're heading out, in the 40s. We soar to the 70s this afternoon. Few areas in the west make their way to 80 degrees. Coming up in full weather, the latest statewide wind timeline. Few showers are possible tomorrow night into Thursday, and then more on that wet forecast next week. Your 9 days coming up.
I couldn't move another muscle. All I could do is just curl up in a ball and pray to the good Lord that he'd get me out of there.
This morning, we're hearing from Chris Campbell. He is one of 3 volunteer firefighters injured when their fire truck crashed into a ravine while fighting wildfires in Beaver County. Campbell was burned and had to be taken to a hospital in Oklahoma City. He tells News 9 he remembers the fire coming towards him after the crash.
It felt like we had rolled 2 or 3 times. Next thing that I knew to do was just to start crawling. Just start crawling to the highest point.
We are so glad he's okay. Chris hopes to be released from the hospital this week. Meanwhile, the Roston Volunteer Fire Department relies on donations, and now they need a new fire truck. If you'd like to help out, we have a link at news9.com.
A Mexico vacation for an Oklahoma couple goes from paradise to a nightmare. Thousands of tourists have been ordered to shelter in place after violence erupts following the death of a wanted cartel leader. News 9's Kylie Dedman has what that couple saw. Now that they're stranded, when could they come home?
Coming to Puerto Vallarta isn't anything new for this Oklahoma couple. Steve Perkins says that they've been coming to Puerto Vallarta every year since 2013 and have never felt unsafe until now. In this video from Perkins, you can hear multiple explosions, gunshots, and people screaming near their hotel. Perkins says they were enjoying coffee on their terrace when he heard a loud boom. Now, at first, he thought it was just nearby construction, but he says when the explosions kept going and he saw plumes of smoke in the sky, he knew something was wrong.
We always thought that the cartels stayed away from PV because it's such a big tourist area and they wouldn't want to lose all the tourist money. But now we know that the cartel folks are in and amongst the population all the time. The couple says they are now stranded and have to shelter in place possibly until Saturday.
Perkins tells News 9 that yesterday was a quiet day, but with flights being grounded, he says they may have to find a different hotel to stay at. Reporting in downtown, Kylie Dudman, Oklahoma's own News 9.
And Senator James Lankford's office says that they are closely monitoring that situation in Mexico and ask any Americans in Mexico to contact the State Department. We have their information on this story over our website, news9.com.
All right, 6:05, we want to get you caught up on the morning drive. We do have some construction areas across the metro. Let's talk with Megan Gold about it all. Megan, what you got for us?
Hey, this is a view from our Lex Stanfield. He is there at 23rd Street. If you were with us at the end of the 5 o'clock hour, Colby mentioned this, and this is one of those ongoing construction projects that continues to just kind of be a headache here in the metro. So a heads up and just a reminder, if you travel 23rd Street, also the Kilpatrick Turnpike started a big project yesterday that will last about a year. So I'll have more on that coming up. Let me show you what's going on out the door right now. The big story this morning, of course, is the winds. As Lacey's been talking about, those winds will crank up after sunrise, and that brings in that high fire danger. From our downtown camera, the Dallas Junction looks good. Broadway extension, if you're headed into Oklahoma City, down on the south side, good as well. And then I-40 in May, looking off to the west as the morning drive gets underway. No accidents to report to you right now. Hopefully we'll keep it that way. We do have just one fender bender down on the southwest side, but all your major thoroughfares are good to go, guys. Back over to you.
We are trying to figure out what's going on in the small southwest Oklahoma town of Hollis. The OSBI is now opening a criminal investigation into Harmon County. This after the sheriff and multiple people in his office, deputies included, resigned abruptly over the weekend. The Harmon County Sheriff's Office announced on Sunday that the sheriff, a deputy, and even an administrator and a detention deputy all resigned abruptly due to unforeseen circumstances. Well, there was a big county commissioners meeting yesterday, and that was when we learned there's now a criminal investigation by the OSBI. A concerned citizen tells us the county and residents deserve to know what's going on.
I really believe that we deserve an explanation of why so many people at the sheriff's office resigned.
And now we've learned the Oklahoma Highway Patrol will step in to help when calls come for service. We asked the OSBI what the criminal investigation into Harmon County is about. They say it is related to the Oklahoma Computer Crimes Act. We'll be following.
$5 million short, and now leadership at the Oklahoma County Jail believes they'll have to lay off half the jail staff if nothing changes by summer. County leaders say the jail right now is $5.3 million short of making it to June, the end of the fiscal year. Last week, County Commissioner Brian Mon warned Metro leaders about this impending danger. And now the chairman of the jail trust, Jim Holman, says the problem is compounded by a history of jail underfunding.
We've got 4 months left in the fiscal year because it ends June 30th. So whatever actions that we have to take are going to have to be pretty quick.
Again, $5.3 million short. District 1 County Commissioner Jason Lowe tells us he believes the jail trust should have been more aggressive about cutting expenses. We'll keep you posted on what happens. Guthrie High School will move to virtual instruction this Thursday and Friday due to a gas line at the high school that needs to be replaced. The district says the building has to be empty for that to be done safely. Again, this only affects Guthrie High School Thursday and Friday. They should be able to return to in-person instruction by Monday.
Governor Kevin Stitt issues an executive order making it easier for ranchers to get the feed for their livestock after recent wildfires. Under the order, certain requirements for commercial vehicles that deliver livestock feed like hay and water would be suspended for 14 days. It also suspends oversize and overweight requirements for those loads.
Your heart just goes out to these families that have been farming for decades.
Yes.
I mean, some homesteaders even, families, and so you're just heartbroken for them.
You know, you get through the fires, but it's just the aftermath that still
Day
is
to
like
day,
a
what do we do
gut
now?
punch. Yeah. So, and then with more to come. So it's going to be another high fire danger day on this Tuesday. Meteorologist Lacey Swope is eyeing things. Lacey, I know it's hard to say exactly how bad it could be. It's kind of a one or another, but the chance is there.
Yeah, we can look at the ingredients and see kind of what the potential is, and we may go through the day without any fires. That would be amazing. I think we see some, and fire crews will probably have their hands full, but today, after a while, these fires do become more manageable because the winds are the strongest in the morning. They're gusty right now. They will pick up quite drastically right after the sun comes up. It mixes those stronger winds over our head back down to the surface. We're in the 40s as you head out this morning. Feels colder with the breeze, and we'll go from the 50s to the 70s later this afternoon. We are dry. We'll talk about rain chances. They return to the forecast as we head into next week, and we'll have our full forecast right after this.
And coming up on 9, an Edmond man is now in custody after a hit and run led to a high-speed chase in eastern Oklahoma. How authorities finally ended the pursuit. It's ahead on 9.
Oh, it's time for the bus stop forecast. Lacey, you went to school yesterday.
I did. It was so much fun. We had a weather camp yesterday at Bethel Middle School. It was awesome. If you remember back January 8th, Bethel was under a tornado warning as the kiddos were coming to school. So we talked about that, kind of how that scenario played out for them. But we also just talked all things Oklahoma weather and severe weather. We had the Van de Graaff out there doing the experiment with lightning. Mrs. Cartwright was my awesome helper there. Check her out. Her hair got super, super high, talking what happens when you get charged up in a thunderstorm.
Hey, girl.
The kiddos, isn't that amazing? She looked awesome. She's incredible. I believe she's the geography teacher.
Nice.
And then we also had Mr. Fowler set this up, but I got to come out, talk to the entire middle school, so well behaved. The kiddos were so enthusiastic, and honestly, they love Oklahoma weather. They were fired up. I mean, the second we started showing video, I showed flooding video, and you thought they were at a rock concert.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they were like, this is amazing. I mean, I feel that way too when you talk about Oklahoma weather. So it was a bunch of nerds in one place, and I loved it.
I love it. That's awesome, Lacey.
Well, you got to start early learning about Oklahoma weather. That's for sure.
You do. All things safety when it comes to what Oklahoma weather can do. It looks amazing, but sometimes it can be dangerous. We did talk about wildfires. They had some fires in and around Pottawatomie County the last couple of days, and today the wildfire danger is once again back into the high category. We need more rain. We don't want flooding, but we need more rain. And a lot of times when we get into drought scenarios, what eradicates a drought? A big time flood. That's usually kind of how we flip things back and forth. Right now, rain chances for next week are looking good. And if the data holds true, we may end up with isolated areas of flooding. So good morning, kiddos across the state as you're getting ready to head into school. Winds are up. Temperatures are in the 40s, 50s midday, and then low 70s for highs today. Not feeling like February. We're in for a warm afternoon. Where is winter? Well, the New England states have been absolutely hammered by this nor'easter that dumped up to 38 inches of snow. This is actually from one of our Oklahoma viewers. Carrie sent this picture to us from a family member who's in Rhode Island, and that is their front door. Can't even get outside. Cars snowed in. They are sucked in for now. Temperatures right now are being driven by a south wind. So since our skies are clear, we're dry, winds are up. It is much more mild as you head out this morning and this afternoon on the warm side. So as we're going through the day, remember there are burn bans in place, and this changes daily at this point. There are now 15 counties where it is illegal to burn. No prescribed burns, no controlled burns. You have to be very, very careful in these counties. And the rest of the state today, there's no good area where a fire should happen today because of the winds. There's not good burning conditions at all. In fact, right now, that's a live look in Chickasha. Winds are up. We've had gusts approach 30 miles per hour, and daybreak hasn't even happened yet. 42 degrees is the temperature, and the humidity is down to 46%. So winds are out of the southwest. They're not extreme, but a little gusty. That'll start to kick up some dust today, some debris flying around, and the allergens once again will be in the high category thanks to everything getting mixed on up. So heading out in the 40s, we'll be in the 70s, some 80s in the northwest and the southwest later today. On the warm side, that will feel hot. And when we start to heat up, the humidity drops down to 9% in Woodward. I mean, just very, very dry, desert-like. In Guyman, 16% in Oklahoma City. And you combine that with the wind, and wildfire danger is the threat, especially through the 9 a.m. to the early afternoon hours when winds are 35 to 40. We might have a few gusts 45 plus, kind of isolated, but western Oklahoma, your winds remain light. Now after 1, watch what the winds do 2, 3, 4 o'clock. They come down about half. So 20, 25, and by this evening, they are fairly light. So it's high wildfire danger for a while. We'll call it from 9 a.m. to 1, then it kind of drops off a little bit. But even still, the humidity is so low. We need moisture. Drought rages on. We do have a few rain opportunities, one starting tomorrow night. There may be a few sprinkles, a few showers in northern Oklahoma. Then we warm back up. We're approaching records heading into your weekend. Then a cold front slams in Sunday, and that front looks pretty potent. With it, a chance for showers, and it cools us back off. And then as we head into next week, cloud cover around. And with this storm lingering and meandering in the southwest, that will bring us lift in the atmosphere and several opportunities for rain as we head into next week. Tonight's a dry night, 30s and 40s, weaker winds. And for your Wednesday, check out these temperatures, lower mid 70s, 80s down to the south, weaker winds, meaning it just feels amazing. Tomorrow will be beautiful. Thursday, 68 degrees, slight chance of rain in the morning, up to the 70s Saturday, but much cooler Sunday. And those rain chances are looking better and better into next week. Back to you guys at the desk.
Hey, as you're watching this morning, just a reminder, we do stream live on the News 9 YouTube channel. You can scan the QR code right there. It'll take you to the News 9 page there on YouTube. Subscribe, join the chat. We'll read some of the comments throughout the morning.
Your time now, 6:19. Let's get over to Megan Gold. She's watching the roads, the traffic, the sunrise. Good morning, Megan.
Good morning. Waiting on that sunrise is my favorite part of the 6 o'clock hour here. And of course, I'll have a shot coming up here in just a bit. As Lacey's been talking about, big changes as you hit the roadways this morning. Our temperatures are so much warmer than this time yesterday. We had teens and 20s yesterday, and this morning 30s and 40s from that south wind, that gusty south wind, keeping temperatures from really falling off. There's the eastern horizon. No colors yet, but of course I'll let you know when that happens. Here's the Broadway extension. If you're coming in from the North Metro, Edmond and Oklahoma City, good to go there. Those of you that commute in from the west side, I-40 and Meridian, looking good there as well. And then out by Tinker, I-40 and Air Depot, looking off to the east, good there as well. No accidents other than that one fender bender I mentioned earlier down on the southwest side. So all of our major thoroughfares are good to go, and your drive times from all directions are normal. Back over to you all.
Megan, thanks. Still ahead, age doesn't stop this Oklahoman from pursuing his dream. See how the 74-year-old man is training every day for the hike of a lifetime. It's next.
A 74-year-old Oklahoma man is about to take on quite a challenge. He is leaving to hike the Appalachian Trail, a 2,200-mile hike from Georgia to Maine. John Welch is his name. He tells us his walking is done with a purpose. He says he had talked about making the hike with his wife, and she passed away before they could do it together. And so now he is training every day so he can start the hike on March 4th, which would be his wife's birthday.
I'll hike 6 days a week, rest on Sunday. So please come and join me, follow along, do the trail with me.
Well, Mr. John is raising money for the Wounded Warriors Project. We'll have a link how you can support and encourage him on his journey. It will be with this story on our website. 74, he looks great.
His kids created a YouTube page for him so you can
Nice.
watch his journey. That's what he said, join me, chime in, kind of like how we ask folks to chime in. So John, good luck. We're praying for you,
He's
buddy.
much more interesting.
Yes, definitely.
We'll chime in on his chat.
Exactly.
How about that?
That's where you'll find us. What an awesome idea. And I tell you what, across Oklahoma, getting out, stretching your legs, taking your workout routine outdoors, great plan as we head through the next several days. We've got some very mild spring-like temperatures, but we also have some wind to contend with. So as you're getting into the outdoors, snap your pictures as you start to see these signs of spring popping up. It's always an exciting time when the signs of change are happening right around us. The daffodils coming up, the Bradford pears, they're starting to bloom. Allergy sufferers, sorry, but that is that time of year when everything starts to bud and bloom and then feel the air. Spring is almost here. These are pictures from Norman. Thank you, Sean, for sending those in. As our outside temperature gets warmer, it starts to heat up the soil, starts to heat up the water temps of the lakes, and all the spawning begins with our area fish. That's always an exciting time as well. If you're going out to wet a line, keep your pictures coming. And these are the soil temperatures, a few inches down, about 4 inches down into the 40s. And when that happens, we start to see things bud on out. It won't be long. The red buds, the dogwoods, everything will be in bloom. We are winding down February here, and temperatures are above average every day for the final several days of February. Today included. 72 degrees will be our afternoon high. Now today the winds are up, and with that we are seeing high fire danger. Be very careful if you're heading into the outdoors today. Nothing flammable. Don't be working with a spark being from a grinder or a welder, an open field. Watch that. Of course, there are many counties that are under burn bans, and we'll detail those coming up at 6:30. That list keeps growing, guys. We're up to 15 counties where it is illegal to burn. More on your wind timeline. That's also coming up in full weather. I'll send it back to you.
A new state agency is coming, focused entirely on Oklahoma children. We'll explain the plan to combine existing agencies under one roof.
And excitement is building online after the Paycom Center posted this mysterious video hinting at an upcoming concert. What could it mean?
What is it?
What are the fans saying about
Neon moon?
Get your boots on.
I think I figured it out.
it? Back after this.
watching Oklahoma's own News 9 this morning.
Welcome back on a Tuesday morning. Good morning. And check this out. The man on your screen is from Edmond, and we've learned he's been arrested in far eastern Oklahoma. He's accused of leading law enforcement on a high-speed chase after a hit-and-run crash. Police in Vian say Griffin Hink had no clothes on when he was behind the wheel and drove away from officers going 100 miles an hour. Officers say they spun him out to stop him, and then they took him to jail.
A former Cushing Middle School teacher and convicted sex offender pleads guilty to additional crimes with a minor. Seth Swaim was originally arrested back in 2018 for sending sexual messages to a 13-year-old. He was arrested again for texting a 16-year-old in 2024. He pleaded guilty to 10 counts.
Governor Kevin Stitt issues an executive order making it easier for ranchers to get feed for their livestock after all the wildfires recently. Under the executive order, certain requirements for commercial vehicles that deliver livestock feed and hay and water would be suspended for 14 days to help deliver those supplies quicker.
All right, it's 6:31 your time right now. I know so many farmers and ranchers wondering, okay, what's the fire danger mean for us, especially out west today? So it's going to be a big question.
Here we go again for a few more days. We got to get some rain on that 9 days somewhere, Lacey.
We're starting to see better and better rain chances, guys, as we head into next week. But today, not a drop of moisture. Skies clear, low humidity by the afternoon. Right now, we have just enough cloud cover that it is making for fantastic views on our Lucky Star Sky Cam network. Some bright pink showing up just over the horizon. We're just about 30 minutes now away from daybreak. Now, once the sun comes up, where solar radiation goes to work, and that will actually help to increase our winds. Winds pick up drastically between 7 and 9 a.m. this morning. Let me show you the graph. That's when fire danger will actually be the highest, 9 a.m. through about 1 p.m. We could have gusts 35, close to 45 miles per hour by this afternoon. After 1 p.m., winds start to back off, and out west, your fire danger is not nearly as high, but your humidity is very low. So it's kind of that catch-22. Winds aren't as strong, but the humidity's lower, so still fires could ignite rapidly. It's just they wouldn't be driven or spread as quickly. Right now, winds are already up as you're heading out on our Lucky Star Sky Cam network. Just on my drive in overnight, where some trash blowing around. It's that kind of a morning where it's a little bit gritty, little dusty. 42 degrees is the temperature, not nearly as cold as yesterday, and winds are 25, close to 30. Not everyone dealing with real strong winds. Winds are very light in the southeast, and you're in the lower mid-20s versus 30s, 40s for most of the region. Now, we warmed today. We're headed to the 70s, well above our average this afternoon, and then we'll see lower mid, even some upper 70s heading into parts of your weekend. We'll talk about those rain chances. They are going up as we head into next week. Your 9 day is minutes away.
A driver is arrested for second-degree murder and DUI in connection to a crash that killed one person. It happened in Oklahoma City early Sunday morning near Northwest 122nd and Western. Oklahoma City police say the driver, Alana Hamilton, was under the influence when she crashed into a pond in a neighborhood. Officers say Hamilton and two passengers made it out safely, but another passenger, Dariana Hall, could not escape and died. A dive team eventually pulling Hall from the water.
Murder charges are filed against a 17-year-old suspect after police say a planned robbery on the northeast side of Oklahoma City turned deadly. This morning, we've learned another suspect has been arrested in connection to this. It happened last month, right near Northeast 4th and Lottie. Police say 19-year-old Emmett Gresham was getting his haircut in an apartment when two people barged in and robbed him. During the struggle, we're told Gresham was shot and killed. Police say 17-year-old Tyree Holly was the getaway driver, and he's been charged with murder. Meanwhile, another suspect, Latavion Bowler, was arrested last week on a first-degree murder complaint. We're told at least one more suspect is still on the run. 6:34 your time right now. Let's get a check of the morning drive with meteorologist Megan Gold. Megan?
Hey, good morning. Roadway's still looking great for anybody headed out the door right now. This is the view from our Lex Stanfield. He's there at 235, keeping an eye on traffic conditions, and thankfully we have had no issues so far here on your Tuesday. Let me show you the Oklahoma skies right now with little cloud cover overhead, making for a gorgeous start to the day as we're starting to see that daybreak and the colors there off on the eastern horizon. horizon, a little bit of pink there. And our sunrise is just 30 minutes away at 7:05. You've probably noticed the sunsets getting later and later. And a big change this morning with those south winds up. This time yesterday morning, we were 27 degrees. We're 43 degrees right now, so a whole lot of improvement. Right now, it is windy, as Lacey mentioned, and those winds will continue to crank up. If you're traveling I-40, things look great over to the Broadway extension and really across the entire metro. So, of course, I'll let you know if that changes, guys. Back over to you.
Megan, thanks so much. Let's take a live look at the state capitol this Tuesday morning, where lawmakers are working on a law that would create a new state agency, the Department of Child Safety and Well-Being. The department's sole focus would be on child welfare and juvenile affairs. Now, right now, child welfare is under DHS. Juvenile affairs is its own department. So this new department would encompass both, ensuring their sole focus is on taking care of Oklahoma children.
DHS is just so large. They have so many moving parts that I just felt like it's time now more than ever to separate child welfare away from DHS and start this new agency.
If passed, the law would go into effect in July of next year, giving plenty of time to get the new department up and running.
Deer Creek Public Schools is hosting a job fair today as the district gets ready to open its second middle school in August. The career fair is tonight from 5 to 6:30 at Deer Creek Intermediate, that's near Covell and Meridian. The district says interviews might happen on site, so be ready and bring your resume.
We got to see this. The Paycom Center officials are hinting at a big concert announcement, posting this video with a neon moon and the caption, "Dust off your boots." Of course, a lot of people think it's referring to Brooks and Dunn. Of course, we'll be following that very closely. Keep you posted on if that is announced.
I spend most every night beneath the light of a neon moon.
We'll let them
do it.
Okay.
But that's how the song goes.
That is.
That's a great announcement. That's awesome.
What a tease, too. I mean,
love it.
We're all talking about
Isn't
it.
that crazy? Just one thing, and you're like, I know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That's branding right there.
Yeah, I was sitting here thinking lunar eclipse. What? Till y'all said that.
Yeah,
I was like,
dust off your boots and go to the moon.
That
right?
actually makes a lot more sense.
Oh, your space boots. Wait a second. No, hang on.
Would they retire for the 30th time and then come back?
Yeah.
You think so?
It's a never-ending retirement tour.
Hey,
it's like
whatever
Kiss.
happens.
I'm here for it.
Exactly. Come on back to Oklahoma.
We love them,
We'll welcome
yeah.
you with open arms, guys. Winds this morning are up as you're heading out on your Tuesday. They're gusting close to 30 miles per hour. And here at the Bob Mills Weather Center, we're talking the wind timeline because they actually pick up drastically after the sun comes up. We have a beautiful sunrise going on, and temperatures are in the low 40s. We'll be in the 50s by midday, and we'll soar to the 70s. We'll talk about the high wildfire danger, the winds, and there are rain chances. They're going up for several days next week. It's coming up.
All right, a big story. We're following more problems for the plagued Oklahoma County Jail. Listen to this. A $5.3 million budget gap means that some staff could be laid off. What's going on with the commissioners? We'll talk about it next. Morning, and a reminder, we stream live on the News 9 YouTube channel. We love for you to subscribe, join in on the live chat, and there have been some comments already coming in this morning. In fact, one person, Last Kid You 99, says, my neon moon is the Brahms sign at 10 p.m.
Amen, brother.
Oh, isn't that the truth?
Oh, yeah. Hunter says, I got to meet Lacey Swope yesterday because I go to that school, Bethel Wildcats.
Go Wildcats.
Lacey, you had a great weather conversation yesterday.
We did. We've been showing that video. We'll show more coming up at 9 a.m. It was a weather camp just to get everybody ready for spring.
How to make a thunderstorm, huh?
How to make a thunderstorm, what to do, prepare for severe weather. I mean, Pottawatomie County has had many tornadoes in the last couple of years, and we just kind of went over what to expect, and we'll be doing more of those. We've got another weather camp coming up on Wednesday.
March is almost here.
It is.
It's pretty early for a middle schooler to be hopping in the comments on YouTube,
They're
but we
up
love
early.
it.
They're very
They're hard working.
Can we just talk about the fact that meteorological spring begins on Sunday?
Here
Sunday
we
is
go.
March 1st, and that is when we shift weather-wise to all aspects spring. It's
Lacey.
exciting time for
It's
sure.
not a thing. Meteorological spring. No one says that.
Tower
Yes,
data
they-
is kept.
yes, they
Is it on your calendar? Is it a national
I will
holiday?
put it on your
This one
calendar.
says it is.
This morning, it feels very much like spring. We're in the 40s as you start off the day. We should be in the 20s and low 30s. We have not had moisture. We need spring rains, right? Desperately across the state. We do have rain chances heading into next week. Right now, we're dry. And with no precip falling, the cloud cover that we have out there, we've got some alto cumulus clouds very high up, little poofs showing up, making for gorgeous colors. And over the next 15 minutes or so, those hot pinks that you see right on the horizon will continue to spread. It's going to be gorgeous. Send us your pictures, the sunrise from your view. That's our view from the Lucky Star Skycam Network. Let me show you how long we've gone without rain, 9 days across much of the state. But you get up into Logan, Lincoln counties, up into the Turner Turnpike area to Tulsa, well over a month, 46 days, since even a quarter of an inch of rain. You look in the Northwest, there are areas that have not had good moisture and good rains since before Thanksgiving. That is a very long time. That's why the severe and extreme drought is in place. That's why the fire danger and the wildfire season has been a bad one so far. We hope we don't see fires today, but just a reminder, as you make your plans for the day, it is now legal to burn in 15 of our 77 counties. I have them highlighted here. That list just continues to grow and expand with the lack of moisture. Hopefully, we can really put a dent in the drought with some of the rain in the forecast next week. We'll see. There were several fires yesterday. Now, these were not wildfires burning out of control. Most of them were controlled or even prescribed burns. But the areas where a lot of those hot spots were, today your winds will be strong, and those could reignite or they could fuel additional fires. Be careful, be responsible with your property. I know you will, but just watch it closely. We have a slight rain chance as we head into tomorrow night and early Thursday, but next week, rounds of rain headed our way. Hard to pinpoint this far out which days and exactly when the rainfall begins, but with how slow the upper level storm is, we may have rounds of heavy rain depending on how it shakes out, and we'll update you as it gets a little closer to us. Currently, on your Tuesday, it's fantastic, 42 degrees. The humidity is at 46%. It's already dry out there, and it's just gonna get a whole lot drier as the sun comes up. Winds are 25 miles per hour with the gusts 10 to 20 at times into western Oklahoma, and the temperatures are now in the lower mid upper 40s. Where the winds have been calm, it's in the 20s in southeast Oklahoma, much colder. Remember, we had teens in the metro yesterday morning. Not the case now. 53 at 10 a.m. and into the low 70s, spring-like feel for sure heading into the afternoon. We're not breaking records. Records are in the upper 80s now. 70s for highs though, and some 80s this afternoon in the west. And then watch as the winds pick up. This is the relative humidity. It's already dry, but it drops down to like 4% in Guyman, 9% in Woodward, 16% in Oklahoma City. And that just means all that fuel for fires becomes even that much more combustible. Fires could start so much quicker when the humidity is so low. Now, driven by these winds, a wildfire could get started today. And with winds 35, 45 by 9, 10 a.m., that would be a bad deal. So be very careful. Winds continue to back off after lunchtime slowly. Still windy along I-44 into the southeast, but look at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Hardly any gusts at all in far western and northwestern Oklahoma. And then tonight, winds will be about 10 to 20. So high fire danger. That's the headline again from 9 a.m. until about 1 p.m. And then as we head into the afternoon and the winds taper off, that threat comes down. But remember, the humidity just way too low. And we're warm as well. Tonight, we'll see a weak front move in. We're still in the 70s tomorrow. Slight chance of rain tomorrow night. Saturday, upper 70s and 80s. Then by Sunday, a cold front is crashing in. Now that will cool us off, and that will set the stage for some instability to ride in with our next storm system. Question is how much Gulf moisture? Some data suggests we have to introduce a severe threat for a couple of days next week. We will see. I don't think it rains solid all week. That's not in the forecast, but rain opportunities are looking better for that first week of March. Tonight into the 30s and 40s. Look at your Wednesday. Lower mid upper 70s on the way, some 80s to the south. We will have a chance for showers in northern Oklahoma, especially heading into tomorrow night. Only a 10% chance in OKC. 60s, 70s, 80s until that stronger front hits this weekend. And look at next week. Right now, off and on rain is in the forecast. I'll send it back to you.
Lacey, thanks. Coming up on the Community Spotlight, Mighty Moth is back at the Oklahoma Science Museum after months of construction. Ahead at 9, we take a tour of the newly imagined space that's suitable for all ages.
Welcome back. Well, here we go. More trouble for the plagued Oklahoma County Jail, this time in dire financial straits. And this morning, jail leadership is warning it's considering slashing staff and services. News 9's Lisa Monahan joins us in studio with details. Lisa, what's going on there?
Well, Robin, without more money, the Oklahoma County Jail Trust says it could be forced to make those drastic cuts to jail staff, at least half by the summer, just to help close a $5.3 million shortfall in the budget. Now, Commissioner Brian Mon first sounded the alarm last spring, warning county leadership that the budget would not cover expenses through the fiscal year. Well, Trust Chairman Jim Holman says the jail has been working to cut costs, but the problem's compounded by a history of underfunding, leaving them with very few options.
The low-hanging fruit would be to cut payroll. But when you cut payroll, you in an already understaffed environment, the outcome of that, the consequences, I should say, of that, pretty frightening.
Now, those safety concerns are top of mind. This as county leaders are still grappling with the idea of asking voters to approve a public safety sales tax to fund jail operations and the construction of a new jail. Now, District 1 Commissioner Jason Lowe says the trust should have been more aggressive about cutting expenses before now. Robin.
Yeah, they warned us this could happen, Lisa. We've also reached out to District 3 Commissioner Miles Davidson, but he did not get back with News 9.
OSBI launches an investigation as the sheriff and multiple people resign at the Harmon County Sheriff's Office in southwest Oklahoma. The story next.
A Metro driver is arrested for a crash that killed one person, in a pond. This happened early.
Let me help you out here?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, it happened early Sunday morning near Northwest 122nd and Western. Colby still looks good there. It's a serious story, though. Oklahoma City police say Alana Hamilton was under the influence when she crashed into a pond, killing Dariana Hall. Hamilton was arrested for DUI and second-degree murder. We will continue watching that court case. We're also watching as the OSBI opens a criminal investigation into the Harmon County Sheriff's Office after the sheriff and multiple other people in his office resigned. We're talking deputies and the administrator. OSBI tells News 9 the investigation is related to the Oklahoma Computer Crimes Act. The Harmon County DA's office down in Hollis, southwest Oklahoma, says it is aware of the resignation but will not make any further comments.
Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt will join other state leaders today outlining a coordinated statewide plan for wildfire preparedness. We're told the goal is to strengthen the state's readiness for an increased risk of wildfires. We will have a crew there for that announcement. We'll bring you the latest at news9.com.
All right, we are talking about tonight, a big night in our nation's capital.
Yeah, we have our Alex Cameron, our bureau chief, is going to be talking all about the State of the Union address that is happening at 8 o'clock tonight. And you can see that right here on News 9. And then afterwards, Alex is going to give us a live report at 10 p.m., gathering reaction from our congressional delegation. So be sure to tune in for that.
And another check of traffic here at 6:57. The cloud cover has hidden our beautiful sunrise there from our Mathis home camera. Starting to see backups on I-35 there at North 27th Street. If you're commuting in to the Metro from I-40, looks good there. And then there is that backup again there at I-35 at North 27. So overall, no big crashes to slow you down this morning. We do see slowdowns, though, in the northbound lanes of I-35. So if you're commuting in from Norman, give yourself a few extra minutes. Otherwise, you're good to go.
Hey, just a heads up, as we're nearing 7 o'clock, Guthrie High School will move to virtual instruction this Thursday and Friday due to a gas line there at the high school that needs to be replaced. Guthrie School District says the building will need to be empty for all of this to be done safely. This again affects Guthrie High School students. The school says the work is expected to be complete by next Monday.
Crazy video from Ohio. A suspect who ran from a traffic stop hides in a trash can.
Ew.
Who finds him?
No way!
Oh.
Yeah, the garbage collector. He's like, dude, the trash isn't supposed to be talking to me.
Whoa.
Dash cam video shows the garbage collector rolling the trash can towards the truck. When it starts moving and he opens it, he was obviously startled. The chase back on. Suspect takes off. We have an update coming in. He was captured. One more time. Here's the surprise.
Right.
You!
Oh my gosh. What if he would have had the truck going faster? It would have been compacted.
I don't think that guy was thinking. He's a suspect already. I don't think he was thinking. Yeah.
He's like, where's the closest place for me to hide?
Poor garbage collector.
He's hiding in the trash can. All of a sudden, it starts rolling. He's like,
Oh my God.
Right? I'm in here.
Pressing him in. Yikes.
Pretty good video, though.
Oh my gosh. That is mind-blowing.
That's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. How are we looking today?
We got a little wind this morning out the door. It's going to be a beautiful day. 70s in the forecast, but gusty winds creating high wildfire danger. Mid-70s tomorrow, and maybe a few sprinkles by tomorrow night.
might need to be in those trash cans to hold them down.
Yeah, tie him down. That's for sure. Hey, make it a great day. Thanks for sharing time with us. The CBS Mornings begins right now.